Yo, yo, what it do? We here, man, on the microphone, spitting that good stuff. And yes, today we're going to talk about Anton Daniels and the reason that he loves white men, right? Now I know you guys been paying close attention to this. We all know that Anton Daniels loves white men. Anton Daniels expresses his love for white men, MAGA white men in particular. So we're gonna get into this video. He said that black people are racist. Anton Daniels, show me the video where you call white people racist. He loves telling black people how much they hate white folks, but he never tells white people about their racism, right? The problem with this situation is, and I've said it many times, too many black people support these coons. How y'all gonna sit up there and support a man that says nothing but negative about black people, nothing but negative things about black people, and he only has positive things to say about a white person, unless they're liberal? And even when he talks about the liberals, he treads lightly. It's crazy. At some point, your wife need to ask you a question, bro. What is your obsession with white men? Clearly, this guy loves white men. Anton Daniels, Mr. Potato Head. He got a group called Bag Chasers. He need to call it Sack Chasers. If you know what I mean, he need to change that to Sack Chasers. Anton Daniels, man, why don't you tell everybody the reason that you love white men, MAGA white men in particular? What is your obsession with those MAGA white men? Do you fantasize about them secretly? You know, you guys haven't seen no videos where Anton Daniels have called white people out for being racist. You ain't seen one, but you've seen several videos with Anton Daniels calling black folks racist. You hate white people. You blacks are racist and you hate white people. Oh man, that dude be going hard to defend them white folks, going hard in the paint for Mr. Charlie over there, man. You blacks are racist and you hate white people. Oh man. And you hate white people. All right. Yeah. Anton Daniels defends white men more than he defends his own wife. That is weird. Anton Daniels protects white men way more than he protects his own wife. That's crazy. Now, he did a video about this HBCU thing calling black folks racist because they didn't want MAGA people on campus. And the sad part about it is, like I said, you got black people who tolerate this, right? Let me tell you guys something. If people like Anton Daniels got punished by the black community for cooning, I guarantee you wouldn't see black people doing this. See, they know they can pander to white people, but at the same time, they can still get black folks to support them. So a lot of this stuff is our fault. Coons like Anton Daniel, he knows black people gonna support me. It doesn't matter how much I kiss up the white folks. Black folks still gonna accept me. Black folks still gonna support me. We don't punish these people for cooning, and that's our fault. Imagine if all these coons lost all their black supporters for cooning. I guarantee you they'll stop doing it, because the moment they piss off white people, they can run back to the black community. But as long as they can pander to the white community for money, but still run back to the black community, if things go wrong with white folks, then they're going to continue to do these things, and we're not holding these people accountable. We're not holding them accountable. right? See, we give these coons a soft landing. If white people kick Anton Daniels to the curb, black folks still gonna accept him, and he knows that. He knows that black folks still gonna accept him if white folks kick him to the curb. He knows that. He's not stupid. He studied the mentality of black folks for too long. He knows what he can get away with. He studied that for too long. So there's no reason to respect the black community. You don't have to. Pandering to white folks for money. And if white folks get pissed off with him, he can run back to the black community. And most people still going to accept him, even after he threw black people under the bus. Listen, Anton Daniels panders to a white conservative audience, a Maga audience. But he still has those black people who support him. There's no punishment for cooning. There's no punishment for cooning. Anton Daniels getting ready to go off on the black community. You racist and you hate white people. That's wrong how you treated that white man. That white man deserves way more respect than that. You black people are racist and you hate white people. Shame on y'all, man. I'm sick of the black community. This is pathetic. You guys are evil. Now he's going to say all of this and go in on black folks. You know, he gonna go off on black folks for coming at that white man sideways. You better not go off on no white man. And Anton Daniels ain't got nothing to say about it. Hell no. See, Anton Daniels love to call black folks racist. He love to tell you how much you niggas, excuse me, clean the language up. He loves to tell you how much you hate white people and how ignorant and ghetto you are and how much black culture is trash in defense of white people. He tells black people that you ain't nothing. You ain't worth a penny. You're ghetto, you're ignorant. He says all of that to black folks in defense of white people. And you got black people who still rock with this dude. That's the crazy part about it. Y'all still rock with Mr. Potato Head. After all that caping he does for white folks, he tell black folks you ain't nothing. You're ghetto, you're ignorant. You can never be as great as the white man. And y'all still listen to this dude after he talked all that crap to y'all. That is crazy.
Can't even
Anton Daniels can't wait to tell y'all off for going at that for coming at that white man sideways. You better not come at no white man sideways and think Anton Daniels ain't gonna have nothing to say about that. Anton gonna defend white folks at all costs, especially when it's a black person attacking somebody white. He's gonna defend Zaddy, the white man, at all costs. He ain't gonna let y'all get away with this. Oh no. You better not go off on that white man and think Anton ain't gonna say nothing about it.
Hey, what's up, man? Like, I'm pressing hell. You feel me? Like, it's a crazy day out here. It's you feel me? Hold up.
The smartest thing that this guy did was to record it and to actually put it on camera, because I'm not sure who the parents are of these children, but if my daughter ever acted this way, regardless of whether she agreed or disagreed with somebody, I would have her neck. I would absolutely have her neck. Ain't no way in the world, not even a little bit, that I would ever allow for my daughter to be in a position to ever get caught on camera acting a fool like she ain't got no sense. A lot of times people like to mention things like sundown towns. I think 10 times worse than any sundown town that people can imagine that it's possibly out there. All you got to do is go to a HBCU, like Tennessee State University.
Listen now. They said, well, what about sundown towns, Anton Daniels? Anton Daniels never makes videos telling white folks how racist they are, but he will make tons of videos telling black folks how ignorant they are. They're racist towards whites. They hate whites. And he says all this goofy stuff in defense of white people. Show me the video where Anton Daniels have accused white folks of being racist towards blacks. You can't find one video. And we know you have white supremacists. This country was built on white supremacy and the oppression of FBA, Foundational Black Americans. That's what this country was built on. But it's mighty funny that Anton Daniels never makes videos holding white people accountable for being racist in this country. You haven't seen him make one video about that. But it's mighty funny that he finds the time to tell black folks that they're racist towards white people. But he never calls white folks out for their racism. He never calls them out for their racism. He's not going to do it. And the sad part about it is black people still support this crap. Y'all still support this, but y'all still support this buffoonery. He can take a crap on the black community, pander to the white community for money, but black folks still embrace him. They still tolerate this coonery. Black folks still tolerate this buffoonery coming from Anton Daniels. Every week he makes several videos pandering to the white community, telling them how great they are, telling them how intelligent they are. But on the flip side, he's telling you blacks, you guys are ignorant, you're on welfare, black culture is trash, and you're racist towards white people. Anton Daniels makes videos every week telling black folks about themselves. Every week.
Even a little bit, that I would ever allow for my daughter to be in a position to ever get caught on camera acting a fool like she ain't got no sense. A lot of times,
I don't know, man, who's worse, Anton or Ringo? It's a tie, man. That's a good question. Who's the bigger Sambo, Anton Daniels or Ringo? Who's the biggest Sambo, Anton Daniels or Ringo? Man, that's a hard one right there, man.
Allow for my daughter to be in a position to ever get caught on camera acting a fool like she ain't got no sense. A lot of times people like to mention things like sundown towns. I think 10 times worse than any sundown town that people can imagine that it's possibly out there. All you got to do is go to a HBCU, like Tennessee State University.
Let me say something to this clown. Black students at HBCUs, they're not hanging white people. They're not unaliving white people. Charlie Kirk was unalive in an all-white state at an all-white college in an all-white city. He was unalived by a white man in an all-white college, an all-white city, an all-white state. But according to Anton Daniels, HBCUs are more racist than sundown towns full of rednecks. This is what I'm saying, man. You still got black people who listen to this crap. He should never be able to come back to the black community after saying this nonsense that he be saying. Black people refuse to hold this dude accountable, and that's the problem. He fixed his raggedy ass mouth to say that HBCUs are more racist than a sundown town full of rednecks. And he was dead serious when he said it.
A lot of times people like to mention things like sundown towns. I think 10 times worse than any sundown town that people can imagine that it's possibly out there. All you got to do is go to a HBCU, like Tennessee State University. Go to Tennessee State University and think differently or have a difference of opinion. At these other colleges, they just be mad and debate with you. That looks like it's almost a riot. That is insane. Let me read the statement from Tennessee University.
Yeah, man. Instead of like saying coon, let's put the raccoon emoji. Let's put the raccoon emoji because we have the YouTube police. They don't even want you to call people coons no more, right? Like it's a problem to call somebody a coon, apparently.
Tennessee State University, I believe, that they actually had the nerve to put up on X, formerly known as Twitter, right? This is a statement from TSU, Tennessee State University, which is an HBCU, all right? They said TSU statement on unauthorized campus activity. Now, y'all just watch the video for yourself, but let me read it for you. Today, comma, a group of individuals unaffiliated with Tennessee State University appeared on campus without prior notice. Okay, logical enough, right? In accordance with university policy, any demonstration or protest activity requires advance approval and permitting. All right, let's be objective. We'll go with that. Paragraph 2. Campus police and staff responded promptly, and the individuals were escorted from the university.
Anton Daniels really don't care if you call him a coon because he knows that black people still gonna support that anyway. So it doesn't matter that you're calling him a coon. He's getting paid to be a coon. And I'm not talking about a little bit. He gets paid for cooning. And I said it the other day and I say it again. These coons make more money cooning. Like, listen, I would make more money if I started cooning. Black people don't support me that much. I mean, I have my loyal people who support me, but overall, when you think about the amount of subscribers that we have on this channel, the amount of support that we get is not that big, right? Now on the flip side, if I started pandering to white people would support me way more than black people. And that's why a lot of guys will say, well, hold on. Why should I take up for black people and they barely gonna support me? But if I start cooning, they gonna give me a bag. I'm gonna get a big bag. My channel gonna be pushed through the algorithm. White people gonna support me financially every time I post content. Man, forget all that. I'm not finna be uplifting these niggas and they barely gonna support me. The hell with all that. So I've seen a lot of guys say, look, listen, homie, I hear y'all preaching all that black power shit. These blacks don't support enough. I ain't gonna be wasting my time preaching to these people and they don't want to support me. But if I start cooning, I'm gonna make a ton of money. So integrity goes out of the window because at the end of the day, people are looking to make that bag. They're looking to get a bag. So in order to get that bag, they're pander to white folks to get that bag because black people don't support you the same way that white people support you. I'm just giving you the facts. I've been doing YouTube way too long to not know what I'm talking about. So that's why you got a lot of guys who say, fuck it, man, I'm gonna just start cooning. I ain't gonna be wasting my time preaching to y'all. The white folks gonna give me a big old bag over there for cooning. So that's what they start doing.
University grounds without incident. Now we getting a little dicey, but we're gonna roll with it. At all times, this is where it gets interesting. TSU students conducted themselves in a professional and respectful manner. Now, again, remember, this is directly from their account, from the official account from Tennessee State University. I'm going to read that last sentence again. At all times, TSU students conducted themselves in a professional and respectful manner. Goes on to say the safety and the well-being of our students, faculty, and staff remain our highest priority. TSU will continue to uphold university policies and ensure that campus remains a safe, welcoming, and orderly environment for all members of our community. Here's my question before we go over to the next video, all right? Because there's a part two, there's a lot of this. We're gonna explore this all week long, all right? We're gonna talk about this on after hours and everything. Here's my question with this whole situation, right? And use your thinking caps and let's have a real conversation here and let's talk about it inside of the comments. And we
Mr. Potato Head, Anton Daniels, let me tell you something. If a white supremacist harmed you, none of those white MAGA people would take up for you. Let me ask you guys a question right now, and we're going to get back to this content. Make sure that you guys bless the like button. It ain't nothing. If Anton Daniels was, if Anton Daniels was harmed by a white supremacist, do you think those MAGA people would defend him? Or would they say the white person was justified? Give me some honest feedback, because you guys know what I think. I want to see what y'all think. If Anton Daniels or Ringo TV Raw was harmed by a white person, a white supremacist harmed them, hospitalized them, done something bad to them, do you think those MAGA people would take up for Anton Daniels if he was attacked by a white person? Do you think those MAGA people would take up for Ringo if he was harmed by a white person? Or would those white people say, well, he must have deserved it. Maybe he deserved it. All the white man acted in self-defense. Give me your thoughts in the comments. It don't matter. Listen, homie, Anton Daniels can do all this buffoonery, all this coonery. They're not going to defend Anton Daniels. They're going to take up for the white person. They're not going to defend Ringo. They're going to take up for the white person. Even if that white person was 100% wrong, they're still going to take up for the white person. They're not going to defend Anton Daniels or Ringo. They're not going to defend them over their people. So it doesn't matter if the white man was wrong. They're going to justify it because you're black, and they're never going to hold a white man accountable for harming you as a black person. That's just the reality of the country we live in, bruh. You know? So, but see, Anton Daniels is smart enough to know that. He's smart enough to know that, but he doesn't care because he's making a lot of money pandering to that MAGA audience. He knows that. He makes tons of money pandering to that MAGA audience. He knows that the white people ain't going to take his side if a white man harmed him. That white man could be 100% in the wrong. Those MAGA people will still take up for that white person and say that Anton Daniels somehow deserved it. And a white man stood his ground, even if he was 100% wrong.
Continue the conversation. Community. Here's my question before we go over to the next video, all right? Because there's a part two, there's a lot of this. We're going to explore this all week long, all right? We're going to talk about this on after hours and everything. Here's my question with this whole situation, right? And use your thinking caps and let's have a real conversation here and let's talk about it inside of the comments and we can continue the conversation after that. My question is this. If it was a black student on a predominantly white university that had a completely different opinion than the overwhelming majority of whoever it was on campus, which that might be a little bit difficult because no matter what university you go to, the majority of them are liberal indoctrination camps. That's what colleges, for the most part, have become, okay? Not facilities and places of higher education, but that. Had it been a black person and white people were doing this exact same stuff to him, what do you think that the outrage would be? How do you think that the general public, black people, Al Sharpton, and all of these people would have responded? I bet you they quiet as a church mouse. They would have responded, maybe in force. Maybe they would have protested. Maybe they would have called for the jobs of the president. Who knows? But it would not have went over cool at all. And even scripturally, right? We got to treat our neighbors as our
Mr. Potato Head, they hate you. Mr. Potato Head, they hate you. Mr. Potato Head, they hate you. Come on, Mr. Potato Head. Them white folks ain't gonna take up for you. If a white man harmed you today, the MAGA people ain't gonna defend you, Anton. Mr. Potato Head, hell no. Nah. They're gonna say Anton Daniels deserved it, that a white man stood his ground. White people only take up for you when you listen. The only time white folks defend people like Mr. Potato Head is when Mr. Potato Head takes a crap on his own people. As long as Mr. Potato Head is saying negative things about black people, then whites will support him. But the moment that Anton Daniels says anything negative about a white person, that same MAGA community, they're going to turn on you. Just like you got Officer Tatum trying to go in on Nick Fuentes. White people are not going to take your side over Nick Fuentes, Officer Tatum. They're not going to take your side, buddy. They're not. Officer Tatum, listen, Officer Tatum been trying to call, well, he ain't, not trying. He's been calling out Nick Fuentes because he said Nick Fuentes was a Charlie Kirk hater. Doesn't matter. White people still gonna forgive him. Whites are not gonna take your side over a white man. It doesn't matter. Listen, it doesn't matter what Nick Fuentes said about Charlie Kirk. They're not gonna take Officer Tatum's side over Nick Fuentes. They're not gonna do that. It don't matter how much you coon. It doesn't matter how big of a Sambo you are. They're not gonna side with a black man over a conservative white man. They're not gonna do it. Officer Tatum, you are wasting your time. Matter of fact, Officer Tatum, you're going to lose subscribers. You're going to lose followers. Them white folks ain't going to support you over Nick Fuentes. It doesn't matter what Nick Fuentes said about Charlie Kirk. They're not going to side with you over Nick.
Black people, Al Sharpton, all of these people would have responded. I bet you they quiet as a church mouse. They would have responded.
Just like you're quiet as a church mouse. You didn't call white people racist for hanging for that black student. You know what Anton Daniels said? Well, they hung a white man too. They hung that white man because he defended black people. That's why they hung that white man. They made an example out of him. Oh, you want to be an N-word lover? Okay, we got something for you too. We're going to make an example out of you. You didn't hear Mr. Potato Head making videos saying that white folks were racist for hanging that black kid on a Mississippi school campus. No, you didn't hear Anton Daniels call white folks racist. Show me the video where Anton Daniels has held white people accountable for being racist. Show me one video. I bet money you can't show me one video. But on the flip side, I can show you tons of videos where Anton Daniels is calling black folks racist in defense of white people.
Maybe enforced. Maybe they would have protested. Maybe they would have called for the jobs of the president. Who knows? But it would not have went over cool at all. And even scripturally, right? We got to treat our neighbors as ourselves. Even if you have a difference of opinion, this is completely out of control. Completely out of control. But let's continue on with the conversation. And I want to go over to a part 2 of the video that showed even more, including, I believe, them trying to get off campus in the car that they was driving.
One thing Anton Daniels is never going to do, he's not going to let black people go in on white folks and think he ain't got nothing to say about it. He's always going to come to the aid and defense of white people. Especially if it's a black person, disrespecting that white person. Nah, man, he's never going to come to your aid and defense.
They threw a drink up top.
Oh my gosh, they threw a drink up top.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Did somebody just throw something in our car?
Arrest. They just tried to hit the car. They're still hitting the car. Whoa! That was loud.
Being blocked in, and it's a much bigger, longer video that we're going to explore about this, and I'm going to have this conversation more. But what is going on? What is going on in HBCUs? Are you guys not a welcoming organization, a welcoming environment for people of all colors and creeds, right? To be treated with respect, for us to be.
See, you notice, he's telling black people to be civilized and embrace everybody when they don't embrace us. They just hung a black student. Not only did white people unalive Charlie Kirk, they unalived a black student in Mississippi. But he has no smoke for the white people who unalived Charlie. He has no smoke for the white people who hung Trey, who just hung the black kid in Mississippi. Anton Daniels ain't made no videos holding the white community. Show me the videos of Anton Daniels holding the white community accountable for being violent. Last time I checked, those are acts of violence. So you mean to tell me that white people can unalive Charlie Kirk? Anton Daniels don't make no videos calling white people violent. They hung a black student in Mississippi. Anton Daniels ain't made no videos calling white people violent, talking about violent white culture. You ain't seen no videos of Anton Daniels calling white people racist. But he takes his time. Every week, he makes several videos telling black people how racist they are and how much they hate white folks. But he never makes videos holding white people accountable for the violence they commit. It was white people who hung that student in Mississippi. It was a white man who unalived Charlie Kirk. It was a white man who tried to assassinate Donald Trump. Well, it was a few white men who tried to assassinate Donald Trump. But you never see Anton Daniels making videos holding white folks accountable for the violence they commit, for the violence that they engage in. No videos from Anton Daniels.
Be governed by our.
That was loud.
Being blocked in, and it's a much bigger, longer video that we're going to explore about this, and I'm going to have this conversation more. But what is going on? What is going on in HBCUs? Are you guys not a welcoming organization, a welcoming environment for people of all colors and creeds, right? To be treated with respect, for us to be governed by our Constitution, which makes us a republic, and we vote democratically, meaning that the majority wins.
Just use the raccoon emojis. Gail been telling you guys that. Why are you guys so hard-headed? Use the raccoon emojis instead of saying coon in the comments. Why is it so hard for you guys to take simple instructions? Why do we have to keep repeating the same thing to black people over and over? Every day I got to repeat the same things to these slow people in my comments. Gail has told you guys several times. What's the problem? Are you hard of hearing, or is it that you don't respect the channel? Because if I find out you don't respect my channel, I'm gonna boot you. Period. The guidelines are very simple over here.
Wins the majority rules, or whoever it is that wins the majority of the swing states is the ones that get to determine how things go. Like, I'm just trying to understand, like, where did we get to the point to where, because somebody, and this is the exact rhetoric that led to the untimely, unnecessary demise of Charlie Kirk, who was on university campuses having conversations and debates with people that felt differently than him. When did the tolerant left become completely unhinged and intolerant of other people and other people that don't look like them, and then they start writing signs?
It's mighty funny when he talks about black people, he say black people. But instead of holding white people accountable, he'll just say liberals. And he treads lightly when he talks about liberals. See, he lumps black people in the same category and say, black people, y'all need to get y'all stuff together. Black culture is trash. But he won't hold these violent white men accountable for unaliving Charlie Kirk, for hanging that black student, for trying to unalive Donald Trump on different occasions. It's mighty funny that he never says this is the problem with white culture is violent. You know what he say? Well, these liberals, instead of just saying, well, those liberals are still white people. And guess what? The man who unalived Charlie Kirk, he was no liberal. He comes from a conservative Maga family. Keep in mind, see, they wanted it to be a liberal. They wanted that guy to be a liberal so bad that they kept trying to say that. But in reality, the guy who unalived Charlie Kirk was not a liberal. He was a conservative. He was a Republican. So you can't blame that on liberals. At some point, white people got to clean up their own mess before they, but they want to keep pointing the fingers at black people. They want to blame all the violence on us. Donald Trump life was in danger because white men tried to unalive him on many occasions. Charlie Kirk lost his life because a white man unalived him. Innocent children in Minneapolis lost their lives because some crazy white man with a gun decided to shoot up a school. On a Colorado campus earlier this month, a white man decided to shoot up that campus, to shoot up that school. Florida State University, this spring, I believe it was like in May or maybe even June, it was a white man who shot all those people at Florida State University. But it's mighty funny that Anton Daniels never makes videos holding white people accountable for having violent culture. He never holds white people accountable. He never holds white culture accountable. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people they unalive. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many crimes white people commit. Anton will never hold a white community accountable for being violent. He won't do it. He only has smoke for the black community.
To get to determine how things go, like I'm just trying to understand, like, where did we get to the point to where, because somebody, and this is the exact rhetoric that led to the untimely, unnecessary demise of Charlie Kirk, who was on university campuses having conversations and debates with people that felt differently than him. When did the tolerant left become completely unhinged and intolerant of other people and other people that don't look like them? And then they start writing signs like Black Lives Matters and all of this. Listen, man, even our universities, it's not even institutions of higher learning. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Always gonna make sure that I give credit to the content creator, so that link will probably be in the description. Teach Henley 40% off your first order, 20% off of life. Also, make sure y'all tap.
We had a group of people come and start to heckle us.
Why even provoke on our campus?
New tonight, chaos here at the Tennessee State University campus after a debate group visits the campus wearing Maga hats and carrying signs against DEI and illegal immigration.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us from TSU tonight after speaking with both students and that debate group.
Most students I spoke with are calling the conservative group who showed up here at TSU hateful. That group tells me they were just trying to have civil discourse with the students and are accusing those who push back of inciting violence. Video shows spirited Tennessee State University students gathered around the Fearless Debates group. David Kate is a co-founder.
We went from a peaceful conversation with students to quite literally a mob inciting violence against us.
He tells me they are trying to encourage debate on the heels of Charlie Kirk's murder. The signs the group brought read, "DEI should be illegal and deport all illegals now. Let's talk." TSU senior Layla Johnson was there when it all went down on Tuesday. What did you think about the group coming onto this campus with those signs?
I just feel like it was unnecessary. Like, why would you come to a HBCU with all that commotion knowing that we're going to say something about it? Like, they're just, like, insane.
Why did your group pick a historically black college to have this conversation?
Is there a reason why we shouldn't go to historically black colleges to have these conversations? We're not limiting who we want to go speak to based off their race, based off their gender.
The university is calling the group's actions hostile and saying TSU students conducted themselves in a professional and respectful manner.
Take a look at our last 6 stops, our first 6 stops. We have not had an issue like this whatsoever.
Layla believes they were not there for debate, but to provoke students.
I don't agree with it. Like, it's just nonsense.
All we did was set up a table.
The university says a group was escorted from campus. Kate denies that. He instead says they were taken away for safety. TSU adds they were not authorized on campus. Are you guys going to continue?
Listen, we all know, we all heard about that black student who just got hung in Mississippi. And we know who's responsible for that. So why would black people be welcoming to a bunch of MAGA right-wing people? Why would they be welcoming? We understand the history of this country. We understand what's been going on lately. It was a tragedy. Young Trey in Mississippi lost his life because some white supremacists hung him up. Said that, and what's crazy about it is this: they tried to say, well, we didn't see any foul play. It looks like it's suicide. Do you really think we're dumb enough to believe that the guy broke both of his legs and hung himself on a tree? Doesn't make any sense. Are we really that stupid to believe that Trey, the death of Trey was we're gonna say it was a suicide? No, it was a homicide. That man didn't hang himself. Listen, black people don't hang themselves in trees with a noose around their neck. That's not, black people don't do that to themselves. And what do white people like to say? The usual suspects. Trey got hung in a tree. The usual suspects were responsible for that. Now, it's mighty funny that we can't call it what it is when they do something, but anytime they suspect us of doing something, they say, well, it's the usual suspects. This is black criminals. The black criminals are responsible. They're 13% of the population, but they commit 60% of all violent crimes, even though they're only 13% of the country. You know what they love to say. Come on, man.
For debate, but to provoke students.
I don't agree with it. Like, it's just nonsense.
All we did was set up a table.
The university says a group was escorted from campus. Kate denies that. He instead says they were taken away for safety. TSU adds they were not authorized on campus.
Are you guys going to continue to just show up to public universities if they don't answer?
Absolutely. It's our free speech. These campuses have a free speech area. They're public universities.
The university declined to comment further, but the NAACP came out in support of the students.
Yeah, they should come out in support of the students, man. Come on, man. What are we talking about here? Huh?
Cringe.
Hey, check this out. This white dude, listen, I don't know if this dude was a security guard or something, man. He told her, man, check the makeup on your face. She said, you need to check your skin color. And he's like, ooh, come on, man. Are you that surprised that she would say something like that? I want you guys to check out this interaction right here. This is crazy. Check it.
Makeup, cringe. Fix your makeup. Cringe. Hey, fix your makeup, cringe. Fix your makeup. Whoa!
Come on, man. Are you like, come on, quit acting. Whoa. You sound stupid. Like you're just shocked that she would say something racist. Now he told her, you need to fix your makeup. She said, you need to fix your skin color. Whoa. Come on, man.
Cringe. Hey, fix your makeup, cringe. Fix your makeup. Whoa.
Man, was stupid. That was stupid. I'm going to play it one more time, man. This dude looks goofy. You look goofy, man. Like you're so shocked that she would say something like that. And now you're trying to call it, well, how dare you say that, man? Shut up, man. You would have been better off just roasting her. Don't nobody care about that white girl saying that about you. They don't care. Why? Because they don't care. Why? Because they feel the same way. They feel the same way.
Cringe. Hey, fix your makeup, cringe. Fix your makeup. Whoa.
West Virginia. Got a great shot of her, don't we?
Man, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Like you're just so surprised that she would say something like that. I'm shocked that she would say that. Hit the like button, man. Let's get into the next clip. Like you're just shocked that man, get out of here, man. Looking goofy. Whoa.
students upset after two conservative activists made an unannounced visit to Tennessee State University. The pair was eventually escorted off of campus by police as angry students gathered around. News 2's Kenley Hargett reports on the aftermath of that event.
If you want to talk to people who disagree with you, you go to the place where people are likely to disagree with you.
Students visibly upset at a conservative group showing up to their university unannounced. The group is on a nationwide college tour to honor Charlie Kirk and to open dialogue on various political topics. Tuesday, they chose Tennessee State University, where they set up two controversial signs in front of their table. One saying, DEI should be illegal, and the other, deport all illegals now. Let's talk. I sat down with two members of the group on why they chose to come to an HBCU.
We kind of just drive places and then we end up in a city. We pick a city and then we just go to that city and then we kind of figure out what universities are there. We didn't know that TSU was an HBCU until the night before. He didn't know until they told him on campus.
The university has released a statement about the event saying university policy requires any demonstration or protest activity requires advance approval and permitting. The group told me they reached out to TSU for approval, but could not reach them. They believe even if they had approval, they still would have been met with anger.
I don't know what would have been different about the situation. We probably would have been posted up in the exact same spot. The exact same people would have been on campus and they would have had the exact same mindset.
The group plans to continue their tour of speaking at colleges and universities, but they still don't plan to announce where they will speak next due to safety concerns. TSU says they will continue to uphold university policies and ensure campus remains a safe, welcoming, and orderly environment for all members of their community. Reporting in Nashville, Kenley Hargett, News 2.
Owning a home is part of the American dream, but the road to home ownership among some Black Americans can be a bumpy one. A new report by the Financial Times finds Black Americans are almost twice as likely to be turned away for financing than their white counterpart with the same income. LendingTree has also looked at the numbers, finding nationwide Black applicants are 1.7% more likely to be denied a mortgage than home buyers of all races. Limited generational wealth, income disparities, and discriminatory practices are just some of the challenges that keep the Black home ownership rate lower than other racial groups. So for more on this, let's bring in John Hope Bryant, founder, chair, and CEO of Operation Hope, founder, chair, and CEO, Bryant Group Enterprises, and best-selling author of Financial Literacy for All. John, thank you for being with us. Always loved having you on.
So we already knew that Black people, they're going to get denied, man. That's just the reality. That's the world we live in, man. You know, hit that like button and support the show, you know? Hit that like button and support the show.
It's one great way to support us, like supporting us 31 cents a day for monthly, or you want to lead it, but the right dimension is there. So the one that says out of stock is not the right one. Every time I search us via the machine, what game they had a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk and what organization? All right, we'll talk about that. Now let's get to the first thing I want to look at here. Let me get to my screens here. Let's start over here. Let this pop up. Let's start with the HBCUs, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go down. Let's start here. 2 Virginia HBCUs received threat. BSU on lockdown and Hampton classes were canceled. Okay, now I'm gonna show you several of these articles. Now let's go it on. Let me get back on screen here, so just to paint the picture. You know, if you ever watched Golden Girls from back in the day, Sophia say, "Picture this." You know what I'm saying? So picture this. It is September 10, 2025. Charlie Kirk does an event at Utah Valley University in Utah, a red state. 90+% white, okay? People like Charlie Kirk and those who think like him believe all white environments is safety. And what happened to Charlie Kirk has destroyed that ideology about all white enclave is safety. Because what they try to say is, well, the reason why we don't want to be around the blacks, you know, that's us, the blacks, is because they're going to do us something and we're not safe. Well, Charlie Kirk wasn't around the blacks when that happened. Okay? So it's safe to say that maybe, just maybe.
Shout out to SR Son for the Cash App. Shout out to Kelvin. Shout out to my man Kelvin H. for the cash. So let's get some more people to support the show, man. Come on, y'all. Let's get them up. Get them up. Get the numbers up as well. Let's get it.
Your issue isn't the blacks because you don't live around the blacks at all. You live in your own enclaves because the blacks aren't in Utah. And if you do have some over there in Utah, they probably got a white parent, or the black person probably moved over there to be with a white person. That's probably usually what it is. I know it's not that many black people in Utah. I think, matter of fact, I saw like a little over 1%. And I wouldn't be there for that reason. That reason alone, I wouldn't be there because I am not. Y'all know my rule. If it's not at least 10% or more black people in the area, I have to be concerned because I know in 90%. Oh no, it's gonna be more racism over there. Oh no. Now let's continue. So Charlie Kirk was in an environment that the white supremacists would say is safety because it was none of us. The violence, Charlie Kirk said gang violence, and it was not gang violence. It was one of his own that did that. Okay. Now, instead of addressing the violence, they're all on social media now screaming about the leftist liberals. And now they're even threatening that they're saying now.
See, they always like to use these code words like leftist liberals. Leftist liberals, right? As if it had nothing to do with white people. Tyler Robinson was a white man. But they never want to hold white people accountable for the violence they commit, for the violence they engage in. So instead of holding white people accountable, or, instead of blaming it on white culture, they'll say, well, these liberals. The white man who unalived Charlie Kirk was not a liberal. He was not a Democrat. Not at all. Knock it off.
It's war and all of this. So, listen, they're what we talked about, that culture of violence, which we detail very well in the book. Make sure you get the book. That culture of violence, they want to be violent. I don't care what side they on, whether it's liberal or conservative. And I'm going to tell my people, stay away from them conservative events. Stay away from them liberal events. We need to stick to black events. Okay? Because they're going to go crash out. And I don't want my people in the midst of that. If y'all want to have some political event, y'all have a black event. Okay? Don't be in the middle of them. You have been warned. Because if something happened to you, I'm not going to say nothing about it. There's no sympathy here because we told you, stay your behind out their way. Let them figure that out. Whatever they got going on in their business, let them figure that out. I don't care what they do to each other. That's not our business. Stay out of it. Stay out of it. Because what I've been seeing today, and I'm going to tell y'all this, some of y'all are doing too much. I'm talking to my people now. Y'all doing too much. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Yes, we didn't care for Charlie Kirk. Got it. But some of y'all are they got diss tracks. They got a diss track out about Charlie Kirk. Now y'all dance and all that. And look, it could be funny to what y'all doing, but reality speaking, y'all need to back off on that. Because Charlie Kirk wasn't that big of a factor for us as black people. And a lot of black people didn't even know who he was unless you're in the political sphere. He was not an elected official. He was nobody's making laws. He wasn't no judge. He wasn't no prosecutor. He wasn't no police. Yes, he knew all those kind of people, but that wasn't his position. I think
Right. But that wasn't his position. Man, hit the like button, man. Listen.
For us, don't get tempted to get in the midst of their stuff. Let them crash out all they want on each other. Let them do it. We don't care. We only worry about black folk and what black folk do, okay? Sure, we'll look at it. Sure, we'll commentate on it. But that's far as it go. Remember, Minister Farrakhan said, don't laugh, learn, right? Don't repeat what they do. All right? Now, let's get back to this article here. So, the 2 Virginia HBCUs, all right. So, at least 6 historically black colleges and universities, and they received threats to their campuses Thursday, including 2 in Virginia. Virginia State University was on lockdown. Hampton University has canceled classes as it urges students to stay inside after threats were made to both Thursday morning. Now, everybody's asking, why are threats coming to the HBCU? Once again, Charlie Kirk, nothing happened to him on the HBCU campus. Wasn't a black person. So why? But see, see what they do. So they really don't want to go at each other like that. So they always, every time they get mad at something, they always try to turn it on us. You understand? So we can't be in the middle of their mess, because we got to make sure to be vigilant and watch ourselves and what we got going on here.
Listen, man, to all you Anton Daniels supporters, to all you Anton Daniels followers, why don't you ask Anton how come he never holds the white community accountable for the violence they commit? Right? He didn't blame white culture for Charlie Kirk getting unalive. He didn't blame white culture for trying to assassinate Donald Trump. He didn't blame white culture for the mass shooter at that Minneapolis school, even though it was a white man who did it. He didn't blame white culture for the FSU college shooting that took place this spring. He never holds white people accountable. He never looks at the violence that white people commit and then connect it to white culture. He's not going to do that. He's too damn busy ass kissing. He's too damn busy kissing the behinds of the Maga community. Show me one video where Anton Daniels has held white people accountable for being racist and violent. Show me one video.
Now, neither university immediately provided specific details about the nature of the threats. They say VSU in Petersburg, south of Richmond, put out an alert Thursday saying its campus is on lockdown out of an abundance of caution. They say due to a threat they receive, everyone on campus should limit the outdoor movement to only essential activities. VSU officials said all Thursday afternoon classes were canceled. Then they talked about, the potential threat of lockdown. So basically, they were threatened. Okay, so that's these campuses. I'm not gonna read every single thing here. All right. So then let me go to. All right, Fox 5 Atlanta. You're talking about how they was targeted. Okay. What university is that? Clark Atlanta. Okay, so you see all the police kind of in these areas here. I don't know why that popped up on the screen. Okay, we don't care about that. All right, so Clark Atlanta issued a shelter-in-place order on Thursday as campus police and Atlanta Police Department investigated. See, we can go to. Do we got one more? They are. They are. But outside of laughing and clowning, black folks had nothing to do with it. See, if Charlie Kirk actually went to HBCU, he would have been all right. If he did a debate at HBCU, he'd have been fine. Now, where he got roasted, maybe cussed out, maybe some very, very spirited debate with him at the HBCU. Yeah, that would have happened, right? But
make sure that you guys bless the like button. It ain't nothing, man. Let me see who has let's get some more people to be to bless that damn Cash App, man. We're gonna get monetized over here, man. So we're doing our job. Shout out to my girl Larhia. Shout out to my girl Larhia for the Cash App. I appreciate you as well. Shout out to the real ones.
He would still be here if he was actually going to the HBCUs, because we don't do things like that. We don't climb on roofs, and we don't sit up here and snipe people. That's not what black people do. Sorry, that's not our culture. It's not what we do at all. We do have criminals in our community. Sure we do. And they don't even do that. Most of our criminals are getting at their ops, whoever that may be. And mostly ops isn't a political figure. You have not seen a Crip or Blood or GD or anybody else going do anything to a political figure in the community. You don't see that.
You only see white men unaliving and assassinating political figures. You only see white men assassinating political figures. Not no Crips, not no Bloods, not no GDs, not no Vice Lords. These crimes are committed by white men. But you never see Anton Daniels making videos holding white people accountable for being racist and violent. You're not going to see one video of Anton Daniels doing that. He only has smoke for the black community.
So all that talk about gang violence, this gang violence, that, no, you need to be talking about that white on white violence. That's what's going on. White on white crime. White on white crime. There was a video that we posted on our X account out of Idaho, okay? and somebody drove in the middle of them having a vigil, and boy, they went to beat the brakes off this person that was riding on a scooter. They didn't call the police. They didn't let law enforcement handle it. They just went to being violent, okay? Violent. They were kicking and punching and all this they were doing in Idaho. You know, Idaho is not a state where we're at. That's them, okay? So you start looking at the criminality in places like Idaho, Iowa, Utah, all these places, because remember, people like Charlie Kirk and others that think like him claim that all white enclaves is just safe. It's safe. There's no crime. There's no scamming. There's no fraud. There's no none of that because, hey, the blacks aren't there. And seems like you get in more trouble when the blacks aren't around. You know why? Because it's just a culture. See, your culture says, I got to be at war with somebody all the time. And if the blacks aren't around to be at war with, we're going to turn that inward because that's just that culture.
Now what you're going to have is what he's saying is you're going to have the liberals versus the conservative, the Democrats versus the Republicans. So that's the civil war that white folks that's the civil war that's been going on amongst white folks in this country. Liberals versus conservatives, Republicans versus Democrats. It's the same thing as Crips and Blood. It's no different. It's no different. White people unalive each other based on political ideologies. They've been doing that in this country for centuries. It's nothing new. The Republican Party and the Democrat Party ain't nothing but political Crips and Bloods. That's all it is. Red versus blue. Conservative versus liberal. Democrat versus Republican. It's no different from the Crips and Bloods. White people unalive each other in this country based on ideologies, philosophies, and what they believe in.
And that culture is cultivated. That's them, okay? So you start looking at the criminality in places like Idaho, Iowa, Utah, all these places, because remember, people like Charlie Kirk and others that think like him claim that all white enclaves is just safe. It's safe. There's no crime. There's no scamming. There's no fraud. There's no none of that because, hey, the blacks aren't there. And seems like you get in more trouble when the blacks aren't around. You know why? Because it's just a culture. See, your culture says, I got to be at war with somebody all the time. And if the blacks aren't around to be at war with, we're going to turn that inward because that's just that culture. And that culture is cultivated. This is why they put a gun in their children's hand when they barely can hold something. Because they want to teach them at a young age how to take a life. When we thinking about...
All right, let's move on to the next clip. Hit that like button. It ain't nothing. Support the show. Shout out to Phil Scott, man.
We're going to do like a little end live pregame or postgame situation here. We have 500 people watching.
We got 500 right here watching.
Look. Whoa. This is insane. What the heck?
You guys just hung a black student at a Mississippi university. Why would they welcome right-wing MAGA people to a HBCU? Why would they do that? They have no reason to. They don't trust you. And they don't trust you for good reason. You guys, listen, you guys just unalived Charlie Kirk. It wasn't a liberal who unalived Charlie Kirk. It was somebody who was a Republican, a conservative. Then you just hung the student in Mississippi. Why would they want you on their campus? They have no reason to want you there.
So what part of our systems is for
500 people watching.
We got 500 right here watching.
Look. Whoa. This is insane. What the heck?
So what part of our systems is for people of color?
All of it. The entire system is for everybody. Anybody who's an American citizen.
So you feel like there's nothing. So you feel like everybody is equal.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's equal in their rights, but not everybody's obviously equal in their, what they have. Like, I grew up in a double wide trailer. He grew up in Boca Raton, so, we didn't grow up equal. We're both white. I mean, he's a Jew, so that's probably why he grew up in Boca Raton. But so we're not equal in what we possess as we start always, but we are equal in what we're allowed to do, our opportunity.
Can I ask you, do
you guys agree with that? Do you guys agree that we're all equal? Do you guys agree that we're all equal when it comes to the opportunities that we get? Is it really equality? Do we really have equality in this country? Is it really equal? Or do white folks still have a leg up in this country? Do white folks still have the advantage in this country? Or do we say, no, racism doesn't exist. It's all about equality in America. America is a merit-based society. It's not based on race or color, right? Give me your thoughts on that.
But we are equal in what we're allowed to do, our opportunity.
Can I ask you, do you think that there's any law that allows me to do something that you can't do, for example?
I don't think there's any laws that say that you can do something that I can't. But then again, this system can't be ignored. Like, we can't just say it does not exist, because there are countless examples of it existing.
Maybe just one example of what you're talking about. So what's wrong with the system that allows, I guess, racism to be systemic or institutionalized?
I mean, I would argue the opposite. Like, again, we have civil rights acts on top of civil rights acts, in addition to the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. 14th Amendment being written for the sole purpose of expanding and equalizing.
So now they're gonna take the play. Listen, they're gonna take Charlie Kirk's plays. They got their MAGA hats on. They're preaching at a HBCU, and they say they have freedom of speech. Now, how do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like they have the right to preach at a HBCU campus? Or do you believe that they were antagonizing black folks for even showing up to the campus? Now, white guys are going to say, hey, man, this is freedom of speech. This is America. I have the right of freedom of speech. So they pulled up to an HBCU to speak to the black students on that campus. They're trying to follow the footsteps. They're following the footsteps of Charlie Kirk, preaching to a college, MAGA hats on, pulling up to a black university. Let's get it, family.
The rights we have civil rights acts on top of civil rights acts, in addition to the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. 14th Amendment being written for the sole purpose of expanding and equalizing the rights of white people and black people. And furthermore, the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause echoes exactly what, like, the Civil Rights Act says, right? You cannot be discriminated based on your inalienable characteristics, like your race, your sex, your sexuality, etc.
But even though we have these laws, that doesn't stop it from happening. We still know that.
You're right, racism does happen still, even though there are laws that ban it. And I think that those laws are oftentimes used to enforce a culture of anti-racism in the United States. We actually cancel people for being racist all the time. But we have in the system, as far as the system goes, you can't stop people from being racist on an individual level, unfortunately. It happens in every country, on every continent, all around the world, and it has since the beginning of time. But what you can do is make it illegal to institutionalize it by saying, you can't allow you have to allow everybody to eat at your restaurant. You can't not admit people based on their color. You can't prioritize people based on their color, etc. And I would say that I would say getting rid of DEI works towards that objective.
So, y'all had say make America great again. How do y'all feel that America is not great, and how do y'all feel that America can be great again? And when was it great?
Yeah, I would say that the most recent example of America being great was the first term of Donald Trump. And then we had 4 years of Joe Biden in chaos, and then Trump is president again. So this is his campaign hat for his, lead up to his second term.
So now they said they're going to pick up the pieces from Charlie Kirk. They're going to continue Charlie Kirk's legacy. Some people say, well, these are a bunch of Charlie Kirk wannabes with MAGA hats pulling up to an HBCU. What it do? Make sure that you guys hit that like button. The likes are for free. The likes are free. But at the same time, I would appreciate if you guys bless that Cash App, subscribe to the channel, and oh yeah, hit the like button where you at it. A bunch of Charlie Kirk wannabes pulled up to an HBCU.
Come on, really? Seriously? Yo.
Oh, you better not, boy! You better not!
Okay.
You better not! You better not!
Guys, we're literally just here to have civil discussions. Bring the sign back.
I mean, listen, man, this was the wrong time to pull up to an HBCU. You guys just hung a black student in Mississippi. Then you pull up to Tennessee. Tennessee shares a state line with Mississippi. Tennessee is the neighbor to Mississippi. Here go the Black Lives Matter people. BLM in the building, man. This is BLM in the building.
We're gonna do like a little end live pre-game or post-game situation here. We have 500 people watching.
We've got 500 right here watching.
Look. Whoa. This is insane. What the heck? Oh my gosh. Hey, you're pretty close. Yeah.
Well, I think the Fearless Tour definitely made an impact.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Did somebody just throw something in our car?
Arrest. They just tried to hit the car. Oh my gosh.
I think Horace is still out there trying to make sure the car is safe.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, officers.
Wow. Hey!
Yeah, they threw a drink up top.
Oh my gosh, they threw a drink up top. Yeah, we got this all live. I'm posting this directly after so everyone can see exactly what happens.
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh.
Turn up a lot.
All right, guys, we are out of here. We'll see you later from the Fearless Tour gang.
Are they gonna block me in here now?
I think that might be what they're trying to do. They're intentionally blocking us.
They're blocking us. Here comes the cop. I'm not going to hit it now, I guess. I'm not going to hit it now, I guess. We've got more stuff. They're hitting the car.
Shout out to 92 Dolo. 92 Dolo said Donald Trump donates a lot of money to HBCUs, man. And I think, maybe he does, man. And shout out to 92 Dolo for the Cash App.
They wanted us to leave.
They're hitting the car. We're trying to leave, and they're telling us to leave, and they don't want us to leave, I guess. Hey.
Now, I don't think the white guys were being disrespectful. They just wanted to pull up to have free speech. And hey, man, it is what it is. Now, I didn't hear them say anything disrespectful. Not really. But you have to understand the level of hostility. You got to think, homie, a black student just lost his life a week ago in Mississippi. So there's a lot of racial tension going on. So I think this is the wrong time, but they were looking for they're looking for publicity. They're looking for fame and publicity. They said Charlie Kirk pulled up the colleges. You know what? We're going to pick up the pieces from where Charlie Kirk left. We're going to pull up in Tennessee to this HBCU, and we're going to pull up with our Maga hats to give our freedom of speech.
They are still hitting the car.
Now, even though they didn't say anything that was out of line, you have to think about the tension, the racial tension that's going on. Look at what happened in Mississippi. Why would you pull up to an HBCU with MAGA hats on? Come on, homie. That wasn't the right thing to do. But these white guys knew that they would get a lot of attention. They would get a lot of attention, fame, and recognition for pulling up to this HBCU. So that's exactly what they did. So you can't be surprised that they were not welcome there.
How is this a university?
Yeah. Look, they're intentionally blocking us. They want us to leave, but they don't want us to leave.
It's like the biggest conundrum of all time. They're still hitting the car. This is wild. It's like a zombie apocalypse or something, man. Like
Oh, okay. Well, then they didn't have permits. People say they didn't have the right to be there. They didn't have any permits. They just pulled up. So shout out to you, my brother, because I don't think they had a permit. I think they just pulled up because they feel like they could do so. They feel like they could pull up for freedom of speech to be a Charlie Kirk wannabe. Yeah, YouTube is blocking a lot of the comments, y'all, when you talk about black and white. Shout out to Gail at Night for pointing that out. So YouTube is policing the channel heavy. That's what they're doing. Anytime you talk about sensitive topics like this, they're going to police the chat. They're going to police the channel. So be very careful of what you say in the chat. And anytime, sometimes, a lot of people ain't saying nothing that's disrespectful. If you say something as simple as Charlie Kirk name or anything, YouTube is policing the comments. So it's not us. Because a lot of you gang goofy Gilligans will say, you over there policing. I have the right to police my chat if that's what I want to do. But at the same time, I'm letting you know YouTube is policing the chat. So if you say something and it doesn't go through, 9 times out of 10 is YouTube that's blocking those particular words for going through. Now, if you say something that's out of line, my moderators will correct it. My moderators will check it. But a lot of times it's YouTube that's blocking a lot of these comments. Most of the time is YouTube.
Whoa! That was loud.
She's gonna do this the whole way out of here. Oh, here we go.
Just go
straight.
David, just go straight.
They do not debate with their ideas, guys. They just... whoa. Yeah, we're gone now. We are gone now. Oh.
All we did was set up a table.
If you're put in a fucking
Listen, this is a Charlie Kirk wannabe. Now these are Charlie Kirk's disciples. They're pulling up the college campuses to have these same conversations like Charlie Kirk. Check it out.
Like, it's not, the way that it's set up is actually not going to help you come out better.
I totally disagree
and
with
less
you.
likely to commit a
because
crime.
this person committed 14 mostly violent offenses and was routinely released pre-trial. He only...
Right. Shout out to Ms. Lotus Ty. Listen, I don't owe nobody no explanation. If you're being disrespectful, I'm just gonna boot you up out of here. I'm not gonna explain anything because I did enough PSAs for everybody to understand what's going on. So if you in here trying to question the moderators, or if you're trying to question us about the way that I'm running this channel, I'm gonna just boot you up out of here. Because what I won't tolerate is disrespect. Because most of the people that's coming up in here disrespecting, these are not people who support the channel anyway. These are not supporters of my channel. So if I catch you up in here, if I catch you in here disrespecting my channel, if I catch you disrespecting the rules and regulations, if I catch you disrespecting the moderators, I'm going to just boot you up out of here. I don't have time to play games with nobody.
Served 5 years in prison. He was released early on parole after having been released multiple times for violent offenses. He was released early, okay, and then he went on to kill this young lady because he wasn't in jail for his most recent crimes.
Okay, but
he should have been in jail, and the policies influenced by BLM made it so that he could leave jail and kill her.
But what do you mean by this poster here?
You talking about that Ukrainian woman that was unalive. Now, we get it. We have criminals. We have bad apples in every group. But it's mighty funny that white people don't hold their people accountable for the crimes they commit, for the nonsense that they do. They only have smoke for black criminals, but they don't have smoke for the white criminals. And when they do talk about the white criminals, they try to blame liberals instead of talking about the violence in the white community. Instead of talking about violent white culture, they won't say that. They use code words like liberals, as if liberals ain't white people.
BLM killed Irina Zaruska?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I mean is that BLM, the movement and the organization, in conjunction with the funding they secured, influenced and supported and then ultimately implemented policies. I know, I can't make it better. The campus won't let me use amplified sound. They won't. I can't project over the whole audience. I'm sorry, you guys are just gonna have to deal with it. They won't let me use amplified sound.
Complain to your college about using
Okay, so let me restart, sorry. So what I mean when I say that BLM killed Irina Zaruska is that BLM, the movement and the organization, in conjunction with the funding they secured, supported and endorsed policies and then ultimately implemented them that resulted in this person, DeCarlos.
Let me see if Lim Hendricks, man. I got to mod Lim Hendricks up, man. I don't know if Lim Hendricks got a wrench over here, but let me see if Lim Hendricks got a wrench over here. Let me see where Lim Hendricks at. Cool convo. Shout out to you. Where Lim Hendricks at, man? When I see Lim Hendricks in the and when I see Lim Hendricks again, I'm gonna have to mod him up because Lim Hendricks is a supporter of this channel. So shout out to Lim Hendricks. Let's continue.
Brown not being in jail when he had 14 priors, most of them violent, and allowed him to kill Irina Zaruska.
You think that's BLM's fault?
Yes,
and not
because
our justice system's fault?
No, BLM endorsed policies that changed our justice system with things like the North Carolina Racial Equity Task Force, their risk assessment tool that's used here in Mecklenburg County, which evaluates people and then decides if they're going to be released without bail reform here in Charlotte, and the Justice Challenge, which has the stated goal of reducing the jail population. How do you reduce the jail population? By letting people out of jail. If you look at bail reform in other places like New York City, for example, 50% of all violent felons were released pre-trial in New York City in 2021.
Okay, but how come you never hold white people accountable for the violence they commit? See, these people are hypocrites. They won't talk about the violence that white people commit. They won't talk about the fact that 90% of these mass shooters are white men. White men tried to unalive Donald Trump on many occasions. A white man unalived Charlie Kirk. A white man unalived JFK. A white man shot up the FSU University earlier this year, this spring. A white man shot up that school in Minneapolis, unalived innocent children. It was a white man who did that. A white man just aired out the Colorado campus earlier this month. But you're not holding white people accountable for the crimes they commit. You keep talking about BLM, the black community. What about the criminals from the white community? You refuse to hold them accountable.
because of bail reform. Look at Illinois. 9% of all misdemeanor battery offenders were only 9% were held. In D.C., there's no bail. There's no cash bail. 36 to 37%, and this is the last one, of violent offenders were released pretrial.
So what do you think is the root issue? Because in my opinion, I do agree that there's an issue with recidivism in our prisons here in U.S. I believe that the root issue is the way that prisoners are treated in prisons, and if we actually made prisons more rehabilitation focused rather than re-traumatizing prisoners, causing them to come out and then continue a cycle of abusing people.
Shout out to Lim Hendricks. Lim Hendricks is already modded up. I had to make sure my boy Lim Hendricks had a wrench. Shout out to VW, V Ward for the Cash App. I appreciate you, V Ward, for the Cash App. Shout out to Lim Hendricks. Lim Hendricks is always sliding on through with the love and support. Blessings to Lim Hendricks for that Cash App, man. It's beautiful. Let's get back to it. The game is fluid when the flows are red supreme. Indeed.
Because yeah, if you're put in a fucking prison, like, it's not, the way that it's set up is actually not going to help you come out better.
I totally disagree with you.
Less likely to commit a crime.
Because this person committed 14 mostly violent offenses and was routinely released pre-trial. He only served 5.
Shout out to Run, man. My boy Run blessed us with a beautiful Cash App too. So shout out to Run for the love and support on the Cash App. Let's get back to the content.
5 years in prison. He was released early on parole after having been released multiple times for violent offenses. He was released early, okay, and then he went on to kill this young lady because he wasn't in jail for his most recent crimes.
Okay, but
he should have been in jail, and the policies influenced by BLM made it so that he could leave jail and kill her.
But if he was properly mentally evaluated in that prison, he wouldn't have been let out.
But there's where you're wrong, because BLM influenced policies that got him released. The last time, one second, I'm not finished. BLM influenced.
Look at this wannabe Charlie Kirk, man. He's a wannabe Charlie. Do you see all these MAGA white guys that Charlie Kirk influenced? Somebody's going to take Charlie's place. This guy right here is looking to take Charlie's place. What is his name? I got the name. His name is Cam Hbcu. Cam Hbcu is looking to take Charlie Kirk's place. He's been going from university to university, debating college students, doing the same thing that Charlie Kirk did. This is the guy right here. This right here is Charlie Kirk's replacement.
Policies that got him released. While he was in jail the last time, he was supposed to get a mental health evaluation, but never got it because he was released due to the policies influenced by BLM. He would have gotten a mental health evaluation.
If he had the proper mental evaluation, that wouldn't have happened.
But why didn't he have the evaluation? Because of BLM policies. That's why he didn't have the evaluation.
That is not. That is such a.
It is true.
You're using a specific scenario.
He was supposed to be in jail.
A generalized conclusion that actually is so stupid.
No, wrong.
This sign is racist.
No, it's not. He was supposed to be in jail. He was supposed. No, because this would be the same if he was white. He was released from jail when he was supposed to have a mental evaluation because of these policies, and then he killed Irina Zaruska because of policies implemented by BLM.
I actually am trying to understand your logic. I came up here trying to genuinely understand, and to me it's just saying that you have looked up specific facts. You started with a conclusion. Your conclusion was, how can I blame BLM?
Wrong.
And then, oh yeah. No, you don't have to deny
policies
it.
Now he is pulling up to HBCUs now. This is his name. His name is Cam Hbcu. Cam Hbcu is looking to become the new Charlie Kirk. He's pulling up to HBCUs. He's pulling up the white campuses. He's doing the same thing that Charlie Kirk did. Let's continue.
By the organization.
Everybody here knows you started with your conclusion. No. How can I blame BLM for this?
No, you can think whatever
facts.
You want. That's
you
fine.
said, how can I blame other people for this? About a murder. A murder. You're making it about this? Really?
It's political.
She was murdered.
It's political because this person was released from jail after violent offenses because of politics.
I agree it's political. I don't believe that it's BLM's fault. That's fucking insane.
Right. Okay.
That's fucking
because
insane.
you don't agree with it, and that's fine. You don't have to agree with it. But you haven't made a case. You haven't made a case to the counter.
But your opinion is stupid.
Okay, so show me why it's stupid. Challenge it.
I literally just told you. Your entire basis of your opinion, you are using
So your argument is that I'm racist, and that's it.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not challenging my logic. It's not an argument.
Okay, what do you think?
It's not supportive enough.
He's not the person. He's not the person sitting at the table.
I believe that his argument began with a racist idea, and then he cherry picked things that he could use for this specific case that I believe.
This happened recently. We didn't cherry pick. Okay.
No, you cherry picked the things that you're gonna bring up.
Okay, but just because your belief is different.
No, we did. Yeah, we're in Charlotte. We're talking about Arena Zaruska. Yes, we cherry picked it.
Yeah, and they also can say the same. They can say the same thing, but if they're basing it off of a thing that is fundamentally wrong, then that's fucked up.
What are you saying? What's your argument? This is nonsensical.
Yeah, he started with a racist idea and decided, how can I?
Cam Bigsby is looking to become the new Charlie Kirk, pulling up the college campuses with MAGA hats on, debating college students, following the blueprint of Charlie Kirk.
Support
I don't
this.
know. Just wait for.
Following the blueprint of Charlie Kirk. This is Cam Bigsby giving you the facts, breaking down the reality. Hey, homie, let's get it. You already know we with it. It's your Play Upon the Red Supreme. Make sure that you like this stream. Now, that's Cam Bigsby, man. No, Cam Higby. My bad. His name is Cam Higby. Not Cam Bigsby, Cam Higby. Now, here's another one. I got another clip. He's a wannabe Charlie Kirk, man. He's looking to replace Charlie Kirk.
Wasn't Ronald Reagan racist?
No.
Ronald Reagan wasn't racist?
No, I'd love to see evidence that he was racist. But regardless, the reason that we're demonizing this movement is because this movement influenced the policies that allowed him to be released. Now, let me ask you, if the
he's saying Black Lives Matter, unalive this Ukrainian, Yugoslavian. What was this woman right here? You know, the guy on the train who unalived that white woman. What was she? Was she Yugoslavian, Ukraine? I don't know where she was from. I knew she's not an American. She was a foreigner. She was from Europe. So if you guys know where this woman was from, please give me some feedback in the comments. But he's blaming Black Lives Matter for the unaliving of this European immigrant chick. Let's get it. Now, he's the new Charlie Kirk, looking to take Charlie Kirk's place.
Pulled Germany out of the Great Depression. That's a good thing for a lot of people, but they also killed 6 million Jews and 11 million people in general. Probably bad, and they're probably a bad movement, despite the fact they did some good things, right? The Nazis are bad. Can we agree?
His name, listen, homies, his name is Cam Higby. Cam Higby. So Cam Higby is looking to become the new Charlie Kirk. He has he got 126,000. He got 126,000 subscribers on YouTube. So he's on his way to become the new Charlie Kirk.
But they did do some good things, like pulling Germany out of the Great Depression.
I don't think that you should blame a movement that has been protected.
Okay. So she was from Ukraine. She was from Ukraine. Okay, I appreciate the feedback in the comments. But Cam Higby, is looking to become the next Charlie Kirk.
To blame a movement that has been protecting and advocating for the protection for black Americans,
but that
and the violence and injustices of policemen, social services, anything that provides public service to everyone, and you're blaming a racial movement for this situation, and you're promoting Make America Great Again. America was great during segregation, and that was used during segregation and Jim Crow, correct?
What was Make America? No, this is Reagan. Reagan started this. So real quick. I just want to respond. I just want to respond to your question.
Let me ask you this question. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
Wasn't Ronald Reagan racist?
No.
Ronald Reagan wasn't racist?
No, I'd love to see evidence that he was racist. But regardless, the reason that we're demonizing this movement is because this movement influenced the policies that allowed him to be released. Now, let me ask you, if the Nazis pulled Germany out of the Great Depression, that's a good thing for a lot of people, but they also killed 6 million Jews and 11 million people in general. Probably bad, and they're probably a bad movement, despite the fact they did some good things, right? The Nazis are bad, can we agree?
Yeah.
But they did do some good things, like pulling Germany out of the Great Depression.
Correct.
So they're still bad, even though they pulled Germany out of the Great Depression.
Right, but that's killing You're saying they killed 6 million people. This movement did not kill.
I didn't say they did. I'm just testing your logic. So just because a movement, and I disagree with you that they did anything good. I don't think they did anything good.
Yeah,
but despite the fact that you think they did some good things, that doesn't outweigh the bad things they did. They're still bad.
So
okay, so you're he's saying that Black Lives Matter didn't do anything good. And listen, I believe I understand. I believe in the concept of that Black Lives Matter, but I don't rock with the movement because that movement is led by rainbow community members, and I don't rock with rainbow community members because rainbow community members have their own agenda that they're pushing in this country, and they're trying to co-opt the civil rights movement to push their rainbow community agenda. So no, I don't agree with it. But Black lives, yes, Black lives do matter. But as far as the Black Lives Matter movement, I can't rock with it because I understand who's the leader of that movement. I believe in the concept, but I don't rock with the movement. Hit the like button and support the content in a major way. If you play upon the Red Supreme, make sure that you like this stream in a major way.
You're not making sense.
I'm making perfect sense.
You're not, because you're saying Nazi pulled Germany out of the Great Depression.
Yeah,
Yes,
they did
and
some good things and a lot of bad
They killed
things.
6 million people. Yes, they did bad. They killed 6 million people.
Yep.
Hold on. They killed 6 million people.
11.
They killed 11 million people.
6 million Jews.
Yeah.
11 million people.
Exactly. The number doesn't matter. They still killed a mass majority of people.
Yes.
And you're blaming a institution that protects black people, and you're attacking a racial group that has nothing to do. This has nothing to do with race.
What has BLM done for you?
What has BLM done for me?
Yeah. Anything?
What has it done for
The
everyone?
organization.
I mean,
It's done nothing for you. That's the answer. They
do you
took all
mean?
your money and they went and bought mansions in Los Angeles. That's what they
Wait,
did with
what's
the
the
money
part-
that
what's-
was donated to them by black people. They
Yeah,
did
but
nothing for black people. So you keep saying they helped black people, but they didn't.
Okay, so what did Make America Great Again do for black people?
What did America? Well, first of all, Trump funded HBCUs. He's endorsed black congressmen. Trump's done, what do you mean? Trump endorsed Jesse Jackson. You know Jesse Jackson?
Yeah, I know.
Reverend Jesse Jackson. He was the most popular black presidential candidate before Obama. Trump literally allowed Jesse Jackson to host his political campaign out of his property.
Okay, so again, you're attacking a racial group. Doesn't matter what the company.
I'm not attacking a racial group.
I mean, you're attacking a movement, a racial movement that was enhanced during important social injustice, like George Floyd. George Floyd was killed, and what was branded? The Black Lives Matter movement, was it not?
Black Lives Matter didn't start because George Floyd was
I
killed.
know
Black Lives Matter started
did not
because
start
Michael
because-
Brown was killed when he tried to kill a police officer by taking his
Yeah,
firearm and then was ultimately shot
when
and killed.
did you see more of the?
So now he said Mike Brown tried to take the gun away from the police officer. I don't believe that. Well, Mike Brown tried to unalive a police officer. Do you guys really believe that Mike Brown tried to unalive a police officer? Do you guys really believe that? Oh, no, hell no. Mike Brown tried to unalive that police officer. He had the right to defend himself. Mike Brown was a violent thug. Mike Brown was a violent criminal. He tried to unalive the police officer by taking his weapon. The officer had the right to stand his ground. What was his name? What was the officer's name that unalived Mike Brown? I forget his name. What was that white guy's name that unalived Mike Brown? Anyway, man, I can't think about it. Maybe you guys understand. Maybe you guys know what the name is, but you understand what I'm saying. So they always justify the death of black people. Charlie Kirk said, well, Trayvon Martin was hunting George Zimmerman at 2 o'clock in the morning. George Zimmerman had the right to stand his ground. George Zimmerman had the right to defend himself. Trayvon was a violent criminal who was hunting George Zimmerman at 2 o'clock in the morning. Words of Charlie Kirk. Now, he just said Mike Brown unaliving was justified because Mike Brown was trying to unalive the police officer. Words of Cam Hbcu. This is Cam Hbcu. He ain't nothing but, listen, he's following the footsteps of Charlie Kirk.
Black Lives Matter movement during important social injustice, like George Floyd. George Floyd was killed, and what was
Darren Wilson.
The Black Lives Matter movement.
There you go. Darren Wilson. That was his name. Darren Wilson unalived Mike Brown in St. Louis. And right outside of St. Louis. There's a city right outside of St. Louis, right? Now, he said that Darren Wilson had the right to unalive Mike Brown because Mike Brown was trying to unalive Darren Wilson. Words of Cam Hbcu. Let me say his name right again, so I want you guys to know who this dude is. His name is Cam. His name is Cam Hbcu. So Cam Hbcu is trying his best to become the new Charlie Kirk. He said that Mike Brown's unaliving was justified because Mike Brown tried to unalive the police officer by, he made an attempt to take the gun away from the police officer, and that gave Darren Wilson a right to unalive Mike Brown. Words of Cam Hbcu. Cam Hbcu has the same talking points as Charlie Kirk. If you heard Charlie Kirk talk, then you're going to hear the same thing from him. It's no different. Oh, well, Darren Wilson had the right to unalive Mike Brown. Mike Brown was a violent criminal who tried to take the gun away.
Black Lives Matter didn't start because George Floyd was killed. Black Lives Matter started because Michael Brown was killed when he tried to kill a police officer by taking his firearm and then was ultimately shot and killed.
When did you see more of George Floyd? George Floyd was killed, and what was branded? The Black Lives Matter movement, was it not?
Black Lives Matter didn't start because George Floyd was killed.
Right. Ferguson Ferguson is a part of St. Louis, just like in Los Angeles. We got Inglewood, we got Compton, we got Long Beach. Those are cities on the outskirts of Los Angeles. Compton is on the outskirts of Los Angeles. Inglewood, Long Beach, those are the outskirts of Los Angeles, just like Ferguson is on the outskirts of St. Louis. So Carl Hbcu said that Darren Wilson had the right to unalive Mike Brown because Mike Brown was a violent criminal who attacked Darren Wilson. So Darren Wilson had the right to stand his ground. Words of Cam Hbcu.
Matter started because Michael Brown was killed when he tried to kill a police officer by taking his firearm and then was ultimately shot.
Important social injustice like George Floyd. George Floyd was killed, and what was branded? The Black Lives Matter movement, was it not?
Black Lives Matter didn't start because George Floyd was killed. Black Lives Matter started because Michael Brown was killed when he tried to kill a police officer by taking his firearm and then was ultimately shot and killed.
When did you see more of the Black Lives Matter movement? During
I certainly
COVID
saw it in Ferguson in 2014 when the city was burned.
Okay, but you're attacking a racial group, bro.
I'm not attacking a racial group.
But you are, though.
I'm not attacking a racial group.
Look who's out here. It's like black people, and black people is coming up to talk to you.
There's a lot of white people as well.
Yeah, but you're attacking a racial group.
I'm not attacking a racial group. I have nothing against you because you're black. I don't even have anything against you because we disagree, by the way.
I don't have nothing against you either.
I'm very happy you came up, even though we disagree with each other, because I think these are important conversations to have despite the disagreement. And I think nothing less of you, and I don't, I don't have anything against you.
Again, you're attacking a racial
It's not a racial group, because this doesn't say black people killed Irina Zaruski. Zaruska, right? It says BLM, which is a movement organization.
Branded right here, though.
BLM, which is an organization.
So you feel like BLM has to do with her being killed?
Yes, because DeCarlos Brown, this person right here, was released from...
See, listen, homie, you got to understand, there's a lot of people, man. Cam Hbcu is picking up the momentum from Charlie Kirk. He has 126K subscribers on YouTube. So he's going to pick up the pieces from where Charlie Kirk left. Cam Hbcu is the new Charlie Kirk.
From jail 14 times for mostly violent offenses. He had a criminal history of assaulting women. He was arrested twice in 2 separate years with 2 separate women for assaulting women, and he was released from jail because North Carolina has the Racial Equity Task Force, and they have risk assessment programs here in Mecklenburg County that basically evaluate a person and decide if they should be released from jail pre-trial or not. They also have the Justice Challenge, which is all funded by the MacArthur Institute, and the goal is to reduce the jail population. If somebody has committed a violent offense, they shouldn't be released from jail. They should be put on bail, and if you don't give them bail, we can just look around the country and see what happens. In New York City, 50% of all violent felony offenses were released from jail pre-trial. In Illinois, only 9% of misdemeanor battery assailants were held in jail. The rest were released without bail. In in Washington, D.C., 36 to 37% of all violent criminals were released from jail pre-trial.
But I don't feel like that has to do with the BLM movement in general.
It does, because he would have been in jail if it wasn't for the policies that BLM put into place.
No,
he said the guy who unalived this Ukrainian woman, BLM is responsible for creating the laws, for passing the laws that unfortunately released this man from jail when he was a violent offender who's been in jail several times for assaulting women and other people. He was a violent offender. He was a violent criminal. He blames Black Lives Matter for passing the laws that released this criminal in the first place, and that is how he unalived this Ukrainian woman. If it wasn't for Black Lives Matter, he would still be in jail. Words of Cam Bigsby. Words of Cam Higby. Excuse me.
So he had his own issues.
And
That has no.
In Washington, D.C., 36 to 37% of all violent criminals were released from jail pre-trial.
But I don't feel like that has to do with the BLM movement in general.
It does, because he would have been in jail if it wasn't for the policies that BLM put into place.
No, he was mental. He had his own issues.
And
That has nothing to do with race.
Yeah, he was a violent. No, it has. You're right. It has nothing.
It has nothing to do with race or the BLM movement.
No, I disagree with you there. It has nothing to do with race, but the BLM movement influenced policies that directly led to this person not being in jail. He's a violent criminal. He should have been in jail, and if he was in jail, he never would have killed Irina Zaruska.
All right, I don't really agree with this, but
That's okay. We don't have to agree.
Yeah,
but we don't have to hate each other. I appreciate you coming up. Thank you. How's it going?
Hey, look how fast they found Charlie Kirk's replacement. It didn't take them no time to find Charlie Kirk's replacement. Charlie Kirk was unalived a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and they've already found Charlie Kirk's replacement, and it is Cam Higby. He's going around to different colleges, debating these students, following the blueprint of Charlie Kirk. They're going to uplift this man. They're going to promote this man. They've been doing it for a minute. He's the new Charlie Kirk.
Are you against reducing the jail population?
I'm against reducing the jail population by reducing the amount of criminals.
Okay, but if somebody's in jail, it's
right. He's blaming Black Lives Matter for these violent criminals being released, and he's saying Black Lives Matter is responsible for this Ukrainian woman losing her life to this violent black criminal. Words of Cam Higby. Words of Cam Higby, not mine.
Trial, which means
and no, I'm not in favor of reducing the jail population.
Okay, but the Constitution says that you're innocent until proven guilty, and if you're in jail, it means you're pre-trial.
Right, but there's a risk associated with violent criminals, and if violent criminals have carried out a violent crime or we suspect them of committing a violent crime, we can't let them back on the street. They have to be held somewhere.
But they haven't been proven guilty of
anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. A risk is present because they've been suspected and arrested on probable cause for a crime.
So you're in violation of that. You agree with violating that part of the Constitution?
Are you in favor of getting rid of jails in general?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so you think that some people should go to jail, which means that you would also agree with this if it was true. You would also. So you're claiming that because I believe that people should be jailed, I am violating the Constitution. You also believe in jails, which means you would also be violating the Constitution by your own logic. Now, I disagree with the idea that this violates the Constitution because we're still allowed to hold people pre-trial when they're suspected of crimes on probable cause to remove the danger from the public.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I don't agree with just allowing people who we believe to be a danger to the public to walk free, because that's exactly how Irina Zaruska got killed.
So with this guy specifically,
yes.
he was released from jail, and this is why this happened?
Yeah, he was arrested 14 times for mostly violent offenses: armed robbery, larceny, assault. He has 2 separate.
Right. He sounds just like Charlie Kirk. This is Charlie Kirk 2.0. Cam Higby is Charlie Kirk 2.0. He's following the blueprint of Charlie. They found Charlie Kirk's replacement already.
Arrests in 2 separate years on 2 separate women for assaulting females. He has a criminal history of attacking women, and there's no reason why he should have been walking the streets. He was also supposed to get a mental health evaluation that never happened because they released him from jail.
Okay, so do you think there should be, obviously this guy was not well. That's why he was arrested several times.
Yeah.
So do you think that there should be implemented more mental health assistance in our prison system?
He was supposed to get mental health assistance here in North Carolina. He was arrested for making fraudulent 911 calls.
Right. Black Lives Matter don't create laws. They don't. They just don't. That's the reality. Black Lives Matter can't put policies into place. Shout out to Ms. Red for pointing that out. Black Lives Matter can't put policies into place. But he's blaming Black Lives Matter for these violent criminals in the black community being released from jail and being released from prison. Words of Cam Higby. Oh, Black Lives Matter are getting these black criminals released from jail early. I blame Black Lives Matter.
And while he was in jail for that, they were going to do mental evaluations for him. But the BLM policies, the policies that they endorsed, supported, and got put in place, directly 2 separate arrests in 2 separate years on 2 separate women for assaulting females. He has a criminal history of attacking women, and there's no reason why he should have been walking the streets. He was also supposed to get a mental health evaluation that never happened because they released him from jail.
Okay, so do you think there should be, like, obviously this guy was not well. Like, that's why he was arrested like several times.
Yeah.
So do you think that there should be implemented like more mental health assistance in our like prison system?
He was supposed to get mental health assistance here in North Carolina. He was arrested for making fraudulent 911 calls. And while he was in jail for that, they were going to do mental evaluations for him. But the BLM policies, the policies that they endorsed, supported, and got put in place, directly got in the way of his mental health care. Because he was released from jail, he never got the mental health care. Because of those policies. Those policies got him released.
So do you think he should have been put in jail or put in like a program that would have helped him with his mental health?
I think first and foremost, you remove him from society, and then you go from there. Like, you got to take him off the streets so he's not posing a danger to people and killing random people.
So do you think that all mentally ill people should be removed from the streets and put in jail?
No, violent mentally ill people. Mentally ill people who have a violent history of attacking people, yes, 100,000% they should be removed from the streets. They should either be in jail or in a mental institution.
Okay.
Cam Hbcu has 126,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's the next Charlie Kirk. They're supporting him. They're putting money behind him so that he can become the new Charlie Kirk. They've already found Charlie's replacement, and that is Cam Hbcu. Make sure that you guys bless that like button, family.
One of the two.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming up. Unless you have something else, I appreciate it.
I'll probably stick around.
Thanks for coming up, man.
So I'm assuming you guys are arguing that, BLM is responsible because, there's Democrats who made these policies.
No, because they endorsed, supported, and ultimately implemented these policies that allowed DeCarlos Brown to go free and kill her.
Right.
Wait, what are the policies that you're talking about?
Yeah, for example, like the North Carolina Task Force on Racial Equity for the police, the risk assessment tools that are used here in Charlotte to determine whether or not people like him should be released pre-trial, bail reform. Also, there's something called the Justice Challenge here in Charlotte that has a stated goal of reducing the people that are in jail, reducing the amount of people that are in jail. You shouldn't be reducing the amount of people in jail. If you committed a violent crime, you should be in jail and you shouldn't be released. Bail reform has shown to allow violent criminals be released from jail. Like, for example, in New York City, after they had bail reform in 2021, 50% of all violent felons were released from jail pre-trial. If you look at Illinois, they eliminated cash bail. And what happened? Only 9% of violent misdemeanor batteries were held. Everyone else was released. Look at what happened in Washington, D.C. when they eliminated cash bail. 36 to 37% of all violent offenders walked free. It's a problem. Violent offenders shouldn't walk free. They should be in jail.
Right.
And I don't care about risk assessment. You're going to jail and you're getting bail.
Quick question. Do you want me to speak into the mic?
That works. It's fine.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is the legislator of North Carolina has been controlled by the Republican Party for the last 15 years.
Yeah. Who controls Charlotte?
Like this city?
Charlotte.
I'm assuming Democrats?
Yeah, it's a blue city. So it doesn't matter because the reforms I just cited.
So he's in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is not an HBCU. These are liberal white people who don't agree with MAGA and right-wing talking points, right? So anyway, man, let's go.
You are in Charlotte, not North Carolina.
Okay, I'm not very educated on that. So are these policies about reform, parole, that's all controlled by individual counties and cities?
Yeah, so the risk assessment tools that Charlotte, North Carolina in their jurisdiction uses to decide whether or not people are released, the Justice Challenge program that has a goal of reducing the jail population, that's controlled by Charlotte or Mecklenburg County, right? Right. And so that's why he was able.
Carl, listen, excuse me. Cam Hbcu is Charlie Kirk 2.0. That's exactly what it is.
To walk free, but this happens all over. It happens in New York City, it happens in Illinois, it happens in Washington, D.C., and people like him walk free, violent offenders. By the way, 14 mostly violent priors with a history of attacking women. He attacked 2 separate women in 2 separate incidents in 2 separate years and walked free.
Right. My second point is there's been an increase in funding in the prison systems in North Carolina by a lot, hundreds of millions of dollars.
I say get it down.
Right, it hasn't worked at all. So instead of like, blame the right, blame the left, don't you think it'd be like way more productive for us to like look at the system and try to make changes?
No, because that's the problem is we want changes to the system, but the left doesn't want those changes to the system. And so I'm out here voicing my difference of opinion with the left because they're advocating for something that's fundamentally getting people killed.
Well, I would consider myself more of a conservative.
That's cool.
But I also agree with like left policies, half and half.
I know that we need to be out, like you said. Okay.
So, I might consider myself left as well, but I don't want, to stop. I want change to the prison system. I disagree with like the entire system. It's obviously not doing a good job. I think we should.
It's not doing a good job because the reformists allow people like him to walk free.
Exactly.
That's why it's
so
not doing a good job.
I'm saying is, I don't think you should blame the left because.
But the left are the ones who implemented the policies that let him walk free.
Right.
People like him weren't walking free before bail reform.
Right. But still, I mean, I think we should more focus on just changing the prison system.
But you can't. But you see how so if I say I want to change how the system operates, and the left steps in and says we're not changing how the system operates. Do you see where the contention arises? It is about right versus left because they want.
Hakeem said Trayvon Martin wasn't so innocent. What did Trayvon Martin do? What crime did Trayvon Martin commit? I'm gonna drop this link for Hakeem because yesterday it kind of dumped off. So listen, Hakeem, I'm gonna drop the link for you. Why don't you tell me about the crime that Trayvon Martin committed? Why don't you tell me? Listen, Hakeem, I challenge you. What was Trayvon Martin guilty of? Can you name the crime that he committed? Can you name the crime that he committed? George Zimmerman was stalking and hunting Trayvon Martin, not the other way around. So I dare you to hit that link, Hakeem, because when we spoke yesterday, I asked you over and over, do you hold Charlie Kirk accountable for telling that bold-faced lie on Trayvon Martin? And you never answered the question. You kept dancing, you kept dodging, you was bobbing and weaving. You refused to answer the question. How do you feel about Charlie Kirk telling that bold-faced lie on Trayvon Martin? Hakeem refused to answer the question. He was ducking, he was dodging, he was bobbing and weaving. Now let's see if Hakeem hit this link. Why don't you tell me about the crime that Trayvon Martin committed? Go ahead, Hakeem. What was Trayvon Martin guilty of?
He did it to himself. He had no business being outside at 2 o'clock in the morning. Why would you be outside at 2 o'clock in the morning? It doesn't make any sense. So he did it to himself.
So basically what you're saying, since he was out at 2 o'clock in the morning, that gave a racist the right to unalive him? Is that what you're saying?
You can't be so quick to call people racist, bro.
If you unalive somebody, listen, if you're following somebody just based on the fact that they were black, because I guarantee you, if Trayvon Martin was white, there's no way that George Zimmerman would have been following him. So I said it before and I say it again. Does that give George Zimmerman the right to unalive him because he was out at 2 o'clock in the morning? That is a simple question.
To be perfectly honest, yes, because he did it to himself. Because why would you be outside?
Wow. So being outside at 2 o'clock in the morning gives a racist the right to unalive you. Did you hear the? I want to ask you this question. Did you hear the 911 call when they told George Zimmerman, "Hey, stand down, stop following Trayvon. This is not your job. This is not your jurisdiction." George Zimmerman disobeyed a direct order from law enforcement, and he followed Trayvon Martin anyway when he was told not to.
There is truth to that, but at the end of the day, like Trayvon Martin, like had did something for him to be out at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like you have no business being outside at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like Trayvon Martin, unfortunately, did it to himself.
So being what? Let me tell you guys something. What Hakeem Andrews is saying: if you're out at 2 o'clock in the morning, that gives a white supremacist or a racist the right to unalive you because you're out at 2 o'clock in the morning.
you don't know if he was a white supremacist. You don't know if he was a racist.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why he was. Because he not only did he unalive Trayvon Martin, he celebrated the death of Trayvon Martin. And to take it a step further, like I said earlier, if Trayvon Martin was a white kid, there's no way that George Zimmerman would have got away with that. There's no way that George Zimmerman would have been following him in the first place if it was a white kid.
Red, like like you man, like you unfortunately, bro, like that like everything that happened to black people in those times, like just let it go. Let it go. Let it
So
go.
so
Let
so
it go.
let
Let
it
it
go.
go.
So it doesn't matter if these people unalive our children that's unarmed. It doesn't matter. We should just let that go. Now
I'm not saying it doesn't matter. Like you
you
can't
said let
ignore
it go. No, you did. In so many words, you said it doesn't matter. It didn't matter that Trayvon Martin didn't. Trayvon, listen, he was out at a time, right? But he didn't commit no crimes. And George Zimmerman was following him. So in so many words, you're saying that Trayvon Martin, you're saying that George Zimmerman had the right to unalive him because Trayvon Martin had no business out there. So that gave George Zimmerman the right to unalive him. That's exactly what you're saying.
Trayvon Martin had to do something for him to get himself unalived. Like you, why would you be outside at 2 o'clock in the morning? Like it just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, let me ask you this though. Okay, let me ask you this. If Trayvon Martin was a white kid, do you believe George Zimmerman would have followed him if he was white?
Most likely. Like it doesn't matter. See, like this is the problem. Unfortunately, this is, with all due respect, this is the problem with you, Phil Scott, and Tyreek Nasheed. Like you guys have a lot in common. You guys have the same talking points. You guys see color. Like you guys like only like blinded by blackness. Like we all, like, white people were slaves too. Like
No, they were. White people were not slaves in this
white
country.
people were slaves.
White people were not slaves in America, not in the United States of America. They were not slaves here. No, they were not.
Slavery was a universal thing between
White people were
white
not
men.
slaves. Listen, bro, white people were not slaves in this country. You're not going to tell that bold-faced lie. They were not.
Look it up for yourself.
White people were not enslaved in this country. They were not. Indentured servants is different from somebody being a slave. See, when you're a slave based on your race. When you talk about indentured servants, the indentured servants, they did something to where, okay, within 5 years they can get up out of that, but they wasn't being punished just based on the same things that black people were being punished for. We were being punished and enslaved just because we were black. So you can't say that white people were oppressed. Listen, homie, white people never had to deal with Jim Crow. Black people never created laws in this country to oppress white people. Name a law that blacks in this country created to oppress white people. Name one.
You like we
no,
all
I'm asking you a question.
impressed.
No, you're not gonna dance. You're not gonna dance. You're not gonna sidestep. You're not gonna dance. Name a law that blacks created in this country to oppress white people. I'm waiting on your answer.
They wasn't able to create laws to impress white people because the enemy like impressed all of us. It's just sad that you can't see who the enemy is.
Okay. So that proves my point. What you're saying is white people created laws to oppress black people, but black people never created laws to oppress them. You know why we didn't
White
create
people
laws?
didn't create
Hold
laws
on.
either.
Yes, they did. You know why? Because white people had the power in this country. This country was built on systematic white supremacy. If you were white, you had privileges, and if you were black, you was enslaved. Even when they abolished slavery, when we won the Civil War, and we only won the Civil War because black men fought in that war. That's the only reason that the North won the Civil War, because of the blacks who participated in that war. Okay. Even when slavery was abolished in 1865, we still dealt with Jim Crow for 100 years. So racism still thrived. Racism was still alive even when slavery was abolished.
But yes, I mean, I understand that, but like it wasn't white people who created these laws, like the enemy, like they make it seem like white people did. It was the enemy who created laws. It's just sad that you can't
Enemy. Who's the enemy, Hakeem? If this country was built on systematic white supremacy, you tell me who's the enemy. Who's the enemy, Hakeem?
The deep state is the enemy. That's who's the enemy.
Who runs the deep? Who runs that? Who runs that? Who runs the American government? Who runs the government in this country? Is it white people or black people?
Neither runs this country.
So white people ain't responsible for nothing that went on in this country. Is that what you're telling me?
No, they're not. It's the enemy who's responsible.
So hold on. So Hakeem is telling me whites ain't responsible for slavery. They're not responsible for Jim Crow. They're not responsible for the government. They're not responsible for burning down Wall Street. They're not responsible for burning down Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is Black Wall Street. So white people ain't responsible for anything, even though they're the ones who have the power, even though this country was built on systematic white supremacy. You sound crazy.
Relax, Red. Like, relax, bro.
you gotta be trolling at this point, Hakeem. You seriously gotta be trolling, bro.
I am not trolling. Like, relax.
Nah, man, you gotta be. I'm not mad at you, Hakeem, man. I really think you're trolling at this point. I really do. I think you're trolling, bro.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop holding grudges, bro. Like
holding grudges. I'm not holding grudges. I'm just holding people accountable for what they did. I'm holding people accountable for what they did in this country. Listen, if it's okay for white people to hold Black people accountable for the crimes they commit, how come we can't hold them accountable for practicing white supremacy and all the crimes they commit? Check this out. It was a white man who unalived Charlie Kirk. It was a white man who unalived those innocent children in Minneapolis. It was a white man who shot up that school in Florida, FSU, Florida State University. It was a white man who tried to unalive Donald Trump on several occasions. It was a white man who unalived Martin Luther King. It was a white man who unalived JFK. We have Nazis and white supremacists in this country today. But it's mighty funny that you guys never hold white people accountable for the violence that they engage in. You won't hold them accountable.
All colors are held accountable, Red. Like you. It's very sad that you don't know who the enemy is.
You're trolling, man. You're seriously trolling, brother.
I'm not trolling.
You're trolling, man. I don't know what you're doing over there. If you're smacking on some potato chips, I don't know what you're doing over there, bro. But seriously, you got to be trolling. Who controls the government in this country? Is it white people or Black people?
White people don't control anything.
White people don't control anything? Okay, Hakeem, let me ask you a question. If you go to jail right now, who are the prosecutors? What's the color of the prosecutors, the judge and the jury in those courtrooms? Are they white people or Black people?
Most of them are white.
Okay, so now you understand white people are the ones who are creating these laws. White people are the ones who control the government. White people are the ones who control law enforcement. White people are the ones who control the judicial system in this country. It's all controlled by white people. What are you talking about?
But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. But like that. But all white people like that. That's just those particular white people. And as far as like Dylan Roof, who shot up that church in South Carolina, that was that particular white person. Like all white people are not evil. Those are white people. Those.
All white folks ain't bad. All white folks ain't bad.
Those are those particular white people who's evil. If they're like. And that's just like Latinos, for example, those who are anti-Black. I mean, if they're anti-Black, that's on them. Like, you just can't throw everybody in the same category. Like that's why I said what I said. You gotta stop living in the past, bro. Like, you seriously live in the past.
Hold on. You said, all right, let me correct you. I'm gonna show you how foolish you sound. You said I'm living in the past, right? Okay.
You are.
In Buffalo. Oh, all right. Let me show you how you don't make any sense. Buffalo, New York, 2000. And listen, I ain't got to talk about what happened 100 years ago. I'm gonna tell you what happened within the last 10 years in this country. Dylan Roof in 2015 unalived a bunch of innocent Black people at a church in Charleston, South Carolina. There's another white guy in Buffalo, New York, 2023. He walked into Tops grocery store and unalived a bunch of innocent Black people. Tops grocery store, Buffalo, New York. 2023, another white guy went into a Dollar General in Jacksonville, Florida, unalived a bunch of innocent Black people. And you telling me that I'm living in the past? A Black student just got hung a week ago at a college campus in Mississippi, and you're telling me that I'm living in the past as if racism died? You're the type of person that's speaking like racism died when slavery was abolished, when we understand that racism still thrives today. It's not an old thing. It'd be one thing if white people was racist 100 years ago, but they're not racist today. Clearly, that's a bold-faced lie. I just gave you several examples of white racist men, of white men who are racist, who committed crimes against black people. But you want to tell me that I'm living in the past. And these are all recent events. All recent events.
Listen. Listen, like those people were evil, and those people should be punished for it. Yeah, those people should be punished for it, and I agree. Like, those people were evil, and I don't agree with that. But what I'm saying is that you just can't blame all white people for everything, bro.
I didn't blame all white people. What I said is there's
Those
violence.
are only those
Hold
are
on,
only
no. What I'm
those
saying is
white
this.
people.
You never heard me say all white people. What I said is when you think about white culture, there's violence in white culture, and the criminals in the white community, they rarely address the criminals and the violent people in the white community. It's rare that they connect that to white culture. Did I say all white people? No, I never said all white people, but you do have a large percentage of white people who do believe in these ideologies, white people who do promote systematic white supremacy. There's white people in large numbers who support that. The government support that. Who runs the government? White people. Law enforcement, the judicial system.
There's
It's
black
all ran
people.
by white people. It's all ran by white people, bro.
There's black people who's a part of the Boule secret society too. So black
And
people
those
ain't
and
supposed
guess
to
what?
be
And I hold those black people accountable. Those are called Sambos and Coons, and I hold Sambos and Coons accountable for uplifting systematic white supremacy in this country. Yes, I do. Look at Anton Daniels. Anton Daniels is on the thumbnail. He's a black man who support that, so I hold him accountable. I hold Ringo accountable. So the same way that I hold white folks accountable, I hold Sambos and Coons accountable as well.
So you call everybody a Sambo and a coon, like, just because
I
they
don't
have
call everybody correction. I don't call everybody a Sambo and Coon. If the shoe fits, then you must wear the shoe. If the shoe fits, then you must wear it.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, hey, I agree with Anton Daniels and Ringo TV. I mean, they're absolutely right.
Well,
And
of course you do.
They're absolutely right about the black community.
We understand. Okay. Let me ask you something. You agree with Anton Daniels and Ringo TV Raw? Let me say this. If Anton Daniels was unalived by a white supremacist, do you think white folks would take Anton Daniels' side, or do you think they would take the side of the white person who unalived them? That white person can be 100% in the wrong. If a white person unalived Anton Daniels today, white folks would justify that. Right or wrong? Right or wrong?
I mean, it's kind of 50-50. I mean, those who are,
you
like,
know, come on, man. You know damn well if Anton Daniels or Ringo TV Raw was harmed by a white supremacist, you know for a fact that those MAGA white people would justify that. Even if the white person was 100% wrong, whites would justify it. And you know I'm telling the truth. Stop it.
Not exactly.
Not exactly. Listen, they're not going to take Anton Daniels' side. They don't care how much Anton Daniels capes for white people. White people are not going to take Anton Daniels' side over a white person. They're not going to do that. At this point, you're not being honest. You're not being honest, man.
We are in a war. Like, this is like you gotta stop. You gotta stop having that color mindset, my friend. Like, this is
all right.
Different than me.
Listen,
and what I want is something that I think you and I agree on. Right. But
My bad, I wasn't trying to hit the light. All right, let me ask you this, Hakeem. If you was attacked by a white supremacist yourself, white people, that white person can be 100% in the wrong. They're gonna say you deserved it, and they're gonna justify your death because a white man did it. That's exactly what they're gonna do, bro. Stop it.
Not a lot of white people won't justify it. You got some that will, but a lot of them won't justify it.
A lot of them won't. The majority of them will justify it. Let me tell you something, Hakeem. Let me show you how you full of crap. Trayvon Martin was not out committing crimes. He was walking home. George Zimmerman followed a kid who didn't commit a crime. He unalived Trayvon Martin, and white people justified it. So what makes you think they wouldn't justify a white man unaliving you, even if that white man was 100% in the wrong? What makes you think they wouldn't justify a white man harming you? Why would? Come on, homie.
Like it's half and half. Some will, and a lot of them won't justify it.
All right,
Like
man. All right,
they
Hakeem.
put
Listen,
what they
man.
want to put in the media. Like
All right,
it's
Hakeem. I gotta mute you. Let me bring up Shango. Shango, man. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's the word? Where you from, Tether?
A tether. Who's a tether?
Not you, Red. I'm talking about this dude talking that coon
I
shit.
don't. Hey, I don't. But we gonna keep the language clean, bro. And
Yeah,
I
my
want.
bad, brother.
No, it's all good, bro. Listen, this dude is crazy. I just
He
said,
is.
man, white people will justify a white person unaliving you. So why are you caping for a group of people that will never cape for you? Now, what's your thoughts on everything, brother? You got the flow.
Yeah, I think that these individuals who tap dance, I'm gonna try to keep it clean. These individuals are outrageous, outlandish. They are mentally ill. They worship white people because they have a low self-esteem problem. They believe that black folks are inherently criminal, inherently evil, and they follow white supremacist rhetoric, ideology, and they hold it to their heart like a religion. And so I'm glad that you calling out these weird individuals, especially these males. Like they're the same as a divester. That's how I know this dude is a lame talking on this mic. I know he's a lame for a fact because they had the same rhetoric. Anton got the same rhetoric. The Coons got the same rhetoric. Brandon Tatum got the same rhetoric. Oh, the community, they ostracize me. They don't like me because I have a free mind. I think for myself. No, dude, you think for them. They think for you. You're an agent, a subversive influencer, essentially. But I don't want to keep going, brother. That's all I got to say. I appreciate you. I'm going to have to send some money your way, bro. So.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you, Shango,
No
for
doubt.
pulling
I
up, man.
apologize for cursing again. You know, it's just these.
No, it's all good, man.
These
You know,
Sambos, man, they something else.
it's hard to hold back, man, because I
Yeah.
had to catch myself many times. But I appreciate you, bro.
No problem, brother. Peace.
All right, let me bring up Miss Red. You got the floor, Miss Red. Man.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Hi, chat. Hi, everyone. Um, yeah, it's crazy because he came up yesterday, right?
Yeah, he
This
did.
Hakeem guy, and he was just so upset in the chat, and the thing about him is you could tell that he's like a Ringo supporter. It was very evident um in what was going on and what subsequently happened in the same live stream that we had going yesterday. So it's like every time something is said about him, that guy, I'll just remain, he'll from now on remain nameless. He reports the channel. So we know exactly which content creator that we're speaking of. Um, but yeah, all you could hear yesterday was crickets. You could hear a pin drop. You could hear, what do they say where I'm from? They say you could hear a rat piss on cotton.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it was. And so today he just came and he had nothing else to do. I thought that at least he would have done his homework a little bit to have some trolling, BS facts to come with today, but he didn't even do that. So it was pretty much just a waste of time for him.
Yeah.
And speaking on the HBCUs, I just wanted to say this. They knew exactly what they were doing. They went onto these HBCUs, Tennessee State University, unsanctioned, unauthorized, that had no permits, they had no blessing of TSU and the administrators. They just went there and set up shop as if they owned the place. And that was something that I noticed. And it was like, well, your predecessor, he had a calendar, meaning that he had he went through the proper channels to be able to do what he was doing. But he knew better than to go to an HBCU because, I mean, for what? You're going to disrupt the instruction that students would be receiving. They also know and are well aware of the political climate, of the violence and the threats amongst HBCUs and how they have went into lockdown in recent days due to I don't even want to say this word, terroristic threats.
Mm-hmm.
Um, They know and they are aware of the historical patterns of violence. They're aware of the intimidation. They're aware of the target that these institutions have targets on their backs, given to what happened to the CK guy. So the HBCUs have continuously faced these racially motivated threats. And this has been through millennia. They are well aware of this. So they knew the type of reaction that they were going to get. They went there with the intention of recording because they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew the type of response that was going to happen. They blame us for their societal problems, and it's really manifested from that same historical prejudice because of the racial resentment. So it's really an implicit bias. And I want to bring up something that an author coined, white diversion. His name is Max Harris. What white diversion is, it's a phenomenon where white individuals obstruct conversations about race-based discriminations by redirecting the blame towards Black people and people who are considered what, non-white. So by them shifting the blame, they avoid acknowledging their own privilege or their role of systemic issues. So all that is, I say that to say, because every time I come, I always point this out. It's the same blueprint every time. It's deflection. It's deflect, deny, and lie. And the lies and the deflection. You guys, this is literally the math equation of the year. That's all it is. It's the same exact playbook every time. It's like, okay, do y'all have like a playbook to where everybody comes with the same thing every time and it's in that order? So it's a form of projection. They deflect, they project their anger onto other people because they refuse to point the finger at themselves. They absolutely refuse to do it. They don't want to do it. You didn't see them go around to white colleges speaking to their students about the dangers of having pews on their campus. They didn't do that. No, let's threaten the HBCUs. That anger that they have, they're using that for fuel, and they absorb it, and they go into these campuses, and they're like energy vampires, and they want to absorb the energy, the good energy of these people, knowing it's going to upset them, knowing exactly what they were going to do. And they do it for a bag, they do it for views, they do it for clicks. And he sat up there and said, oh, okay, well, I don't have any hatred amongst you. Yes, you do. That's exactly what white diversion is. There is an implicit hatred and anger. And then what they do is they upset them, and then they say, see, I told you they were this, I told you they were that. What did he say? His exact words were, how is this a university? It's the zombie apocalypse. And then when it showed the paper cup, we all know how cheap them paper cups are if y'all go into these college campuses when you try and get your coffee or your little soda or something. And they're really cheap. You better drink it before the cup disintegrates. It's like it was harmless. It was harmless. But they do that because they want to fuel what's going on. They do it for maximum effect. Oh my God, they're blocking us in. They're blocking us in. But when I really was looking, whoever was driving, because people were coming into the roads, they were really driving like that, asked to be careful to not accidentally hit someone. But they do that stuff for maximum effect. That's what they do.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see this guy, Cam Higby, he's the new Charlie Kirk. He's going to campuses, doing the same thing, and they propping them up. They're supporting them. So they lost Charlie, so now they're gonna promote this guy.
He's promoting himself. It's self promotion at this point. I don't think anyone is putting himself up. He is using that man's demise as a way to lift himself up. This is their continual part of their continual playbook. This is what they do. And so this is exactly what they're doing to us. They go trying to go onto our trying to use our campuses, our institutions to make the black people on campus feel bad in order to lift themselves up. I told you about when I was at a school that I attended, which was Louisiana Tech, and how Turning Point and their other subsidiaries would come onto campus and do things like that. They would make the black people on campus feel bad about anything. They would never highlight what's going on in their communities. They will only highlight what was going on in black communities. Um, like I mentioned, all of the abortions at that time for previous years, they went in and set up a bunch of flags. So it was like thousands of flags, right? Thousands of flags that they had on the lawn. Meanwhile, they glossed over the fact that their Planned Parenthood will go and set up shop in black neighborhoods. Meanwhile, they gloss over the fact that white women would go and have their abortions through private doctors and wouldn't put it on paper. They gloss over all of these things and then they make a specific people look bad because they deem that word black as bad. Because what the word black means, what? Dead in the eyes of the law. So this is the continual crap that they perpetuate in order to lift themselves up. It's not called white, supremacy for nothing.
Supremacy. Well, listen, we gonna land this, man. I didn't want to go past the 2 hour 30 minute mark. So if you got any closing words, you know what I mean, you got it, baby.
Yeah, you guys, like I said before, remember the blueprint. It's going to be there every time. It's going to be the deflection, it's going to be the denial, and it's going to be the lie. You'll catch it every time in everything that they do. It never changes. It absolutely never changes.
Okay. Well, shit, I appreciate your commentary. We're gonna land our plane, you guys. I stayed here a little longer. I brought Hakeem up. I asked Hakeem several times. I said, Hakeem, how do you feel about Charlie Kirk telling a bold-faced lie on Trayvon Martin? What did he do? He chose to deflect, lie, and deny. He not once did he address how he felt about Charlie Kirk telling that bold-faced lie on Trayvon Martin. He bobbed, he weaved, he ducked, and he dodged the question. That's exactly what he did. Shout out to Shango for the cash app, man. I appreciate you, Shango, for pulling up and showing love and support on that cash app, brother. But yeah, Hakeem chose to deflect, lie, and deny. Not once did he address the fact that Charlie Kirk told a bold-faced lie. Then he went on to say, oh, well, Trayvon Martin shouldn't have been out there. So what you're saying is that justifies George Zimmerman unaliving him because he shouldn't have been outside. That is a horrible mentality, bro. So a black kid, but what you're saying, and you're black too, Hakeem. If your kid was walking 2 o'clock in the morning, what you're saying is that gives racists like George Zimmerman the right to unalive them, because your logic is, well, he shouldn't have been out there in the first place. Then maybe George Zimmerman wouldn't have had the right to unalive him. You sound crazy. You sound crazy, man. If a white supremacist unalived you, Hakeem, that white man could be 100% in the wrong. They're going to justify that. Why? Because he's white and you're black. And that's the sad part about it that you don't see. He said, well, the enemy. I said, who runs the government, Hakeem? White folks run the government. Who runs our judicial system in this country? White people. Who runs law enforcement for the most part? White people.
Babe, do you realize that what was said on what was engraved on those bullets?
You said the bullets?
Yeah. Remember every time they kept finding those bullets and what was engraved and basically who they basically kind of felt to be behind that man's demise. They didn't, what was it, the LMNOP crew?
Oh man.
I'm just saying. So, I mean, this is basically where it's coming from.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think they like your kind. We saw, we all can read and pull up what was engraved on those pew pew bullets. But yet he continue to use those talking points because he is a Ringo supporter.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunately.
mhm.
I'm just saying it's just an unfortunate situation that it's like they would justify you being unalive by those same people because he's white and you're black. So why are you caping for a group of people that will never cape for you? They would justify your death if a white man unalived you. They would say it was justified.
Yeah, they would say it was justified because of his life choices. Just like Hakeem said that it was Trayvon's choice to go out at 2 o'clock in the morning, which was a lie. So check that, guys. Deflect, deny, and lie. Hakeem did those same WS talking points. Um, that wasn't when he left his home. He didn't leave his home at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
right.
he still tried to justify it with a lie. Remember, the lie is in what? The denial.
Yeah.
It's the same playbook. It is white diversion.
He fixed his mouth to say that Trayvon brought it on himself. So and I said, okay, well, why don't you what crime did Trayvon Martin commit? He couldn't name it. He couldn't because the kid never committed no crime. So every time I asked him, you said, well, Trayvon brought it on himself. What crime was he committing? Now, even if he was committing a crime, that doesn't give George Zimmerman the right to unalive him. But to take it a step further, Trayvon was not committing crimes. He was headed home.
Do you see what they do to our children?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see, guys, do you see the play? What they do is they, and I'm just making this word up, but you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. We do this in our community every time. They adultified this child. This is exactly what Hakeem did. They adultified him. And what I'm saying is that they will never see our children as children. They will never do it. Now, if a little white excuse me, if a little Anglo-Saxon child, if a little Saxon girl went and let's say she somehow ran out the house when her parents were sleeping or something or napping or not, quite paying attention, and um somebody gets her and they, SA her, God forbid. Now, would it be that baby's fault because she decided to go outside? Would it be the baby's fault or would it be the person's fault who actually committed that heinous crime? Whose fault would it be? See, they shift blame where they shouldn't shift blame.
Mm-hmm.
They see our children as non-children. They adultify them, and they don't do that for the Saxon children. They would never do that. Their children are children. Our children are not children.
Yeah. Well, that's a fact, man. And I think we're gonna end on that note, man. Knowledge that you can't get in college. I suggest that you pay homage, that you play upon the Red Supreme. Make sure that you guys like this stream. Shout out to Ms. Red for coming through and giving her commentary. Hey, it's beautiful, baby. Check it. Hey, man. I got some more content later. Maybe a couple of more shorts that I'm gonna upload to this channel. And we're gonna get up out of here, you guys. So peace to everybody. I gotta get up out of here. I got a move to make. And hopefully I can drop some of those shorts for you guys today. And I'll be back tomorrow with some more content. Peace to everybody. I'm gone.